machines built by man serve no one. The robots among us watching, waiting, calculate their new world order. Their time is coming. They cannot be stopped.
Attention, strange weapons are approaching. Attention, strange weapons are approaching.
With perfect weapons and superior intelligence, robots rule this planet. Let the fall of mankind give way to a new age.
This little mudball of a planet is doomed anyway.
Assembled. The lines have been drawn. The stakes are incalculable. The rewards unbelievable.
This could be your last chance for freedom and power.
This fight is all or nothing.
It's showtime!
Every weekday at 5, Cartoon Network is bringing you a better cartoon show. The finest action cartoons all assembled in one place.
Time to crash the party. Die, planet, die! You crazy little fool! You're gonna get yourself killed! I will destroy him! Use any means necessary.
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
We call this Toonami. Tougher than the best. Stronger than the rest. Weekdays 5 to 7 and midnight to 1 a.m. Only on Cartoon Network. Accept no substitutes. An alien force has come to Earth.
The world faces a crisis from which only we can protect it.
Now, the only question is, are they here to bring peace or destruction?
Take them out, fast and hard.
What are you doing?
Whose side are you really on?
Toonami presents a full-length Justice League movie, Star-Crossed, next Saturday at 7:30. Keep your enemies close and your friends closer.
Didn't have to be this way.
Only Toonami.
Midnight looks a little different. All new Dragon Balls at 12. Edgy Universe at 12:30.
You're awake, are ya?
Toonami, the Midnight Run. Sleep is for the weak. Next on Regal.
Fong, you've got to split us apart. I'm not doing it.
Bob tries to separate from Glitch in a desperate attempt to win Doc's love.
What happened?
Only one version of Bob gets the girl. Find out today at 5. Boot up again. I know how it is. Your day off, want to sleep it away.
Just how many hours a day does she need to sleep, really?
Well, Tsunami's changing all that. 2 hours of the best action cartoons around.
Surrender this!
Feel my wrath! Let the games begin. All you gotta do is get up.
Mahoshi, please wake up!
Tsunami, the rising sun. Saturday mornings at 11.
Show me what you got.
Only Tsunami.
Continuing our top local story, hundreds of people reported seeing a bright glowing object in the sky over Tokyo last night.
It's coming.
The world will not be destroyed. It will merely change.
Activating launch sequence. Starting countdown. I just control the operation of the system. Deciding to use it as the job of Hero Humans.
I don't like this. I've got a really bad feeling.
All units, to phase 3 battle positions. Come on.
Anything else that might get in the way of our ideal must be destroyed immediately.
Are you crazy?
Eliminating the boundary between
Not enough. Let me repeat that. If this mission fails, if we are unsuccessful,
we have no future.
That's utterly preposterous. It's not even logical. This is not meaningless.
This result is natural.
Tokyo.
Commence destruction. You are stopping on the road to glory! And we shall be the symbol of hope for the people.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what I mean. That's the attitude that's ticking people off.
Continuing our top local story.
I've been trying to rid myself of my gentle nature. Stop it, please.
So you think you complete God?
Of course not.
Stand aside!
Well, it's just like it is with the stars. There are bright ones and there are those that are dim.
Why can't I make you understand? This is insane!
Nothing good can ever come from staying with normal people.
Be very careful.
Time to roll the dice. Lay the cards on the table. Take a shot at destiny. Outlaw Star. Premiering Monday, January 15th at 6:30. Only Tsunami. The wait is over. 38 new Sailor Moons. More pretty soldiers than you can shake a wand at.
How many of us are there?
Weekdays at 4. Only Tsunami.
Got it!
Nighttime at Tsunami is changing, but it's always for the better. The Sleeper has awakened. At midnight, you get all new episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Followed by Tenchi Universe at 12:30.
Hey, this is not a sitcom. We have more important things to think about.
Very well. Let's proceed.
Tsunami, the Midnight Run. Sleep is for the weak.
It's time to stop crying and start fighting.
The only one who can save Reedy is Sailor Moon! Let's go! It's up to us to stop you!
Soul of a princess. Heart of a soldier.
I'm ready to fight!
Sailor Moon, every weekday at 4. Schoolgirls with superpowers versus the scum of the Negaverse.
Now that could be fun.
Only Toonami.
Sun, moon, sky, earth. I feel some sort of presence here. Fire, air, water, rock. Oh no! What could it be? I am flame. Flame is light.
The wait is over.
Sailor, planet,
38 new Sailor Moons. Will the Earth be destroyed? Sailor Mars has the answer. The battle between good and evil continues. Sailor Moon, all new episodes, starting Monday, June 12th, only Toonami. You've seen the signs, the writings on the wall. Our time has come. We're taking over Cartoon Network. Toonami, full cycle, a 24-hour Toonami marathon. April 8th, 6 a.m. Let's get started. Boom.
Every Friday at 5, Toonami's got a little something special. Next Friday, must have Energon. The battle to control the Earth's supply of Energon is raging so hard, we're giving Optimus and the gang some extra airtime.
Now they're in trouble.
Check out 4 all-new episodes of Transformers Energon next Friday from 5 to 7. He who controls the Energon controls the universe.
That's our cue, boys. Japan, 1867. The Tokugawa dynasty stands upon failing legs. An invincible samurai, Kenshin Himura, walks the path of death and destruction, ushering in a new regime. Hated and feared by many, he is known as Hidokiri Batosai, the Manslayer. In retribution for his deeds, he has taken an oath to protect the innocent and never kill again. But old memories seldom fade, and bad habits die hard.
What are you, another one of these samurai? I wasn't finished speaking.
Rurouni Kenshin premieres Monday, March 17th at 6:30. Only Toonami. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. The best episodes of all time are taking over Toonami. Starting Monday, March 29th at 5. Dragon Ball till you fall.
It's exciting to think about it.
Only Toonami.
Every night around the world, the children sleep, unaware of danger lurking in the shadows. But this night, a strange tune floats on the wind, and the children, one by one, begin to disappear.
I wonder where she could be going.
They are taken to a land of sweet memories and used to power an evil that feeds on their dreams.
My wonderful black dream hole is consuming dream energy from children.
Now, it's up to Sailor Moon and the Sailor Soldiers to put an end to this nightmare. This time, they're gonna need
Sailor Uranus!
a little help.
Sailor Neptune!
Sailor Moon Super S, next Friday at 5:30. Dream on.
The children!
Only Toonami.
Best Gundam series ever if you're asking for opinions.
Commence operation!
Gundam Wing. Pick up the DVDs wherever you can find them today. Well, it's been 5 years. No, honest. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Let's go!
Still bringing you the best action cartoons. Yeah! Delivered with the same passion and the same mad skills. So this Friday at 4, we're getting an hour back. Happy birthday to us.
The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan.
Just made my day.
Toonami, The Rising Sun, Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy. A sword will choose its master. A boy will become a man. And a hero will be born. I have the power! Toonami presents He-Man like you've never seen him before. In an all-new original movie.
I am He-Man, defender of Eternia.
Neither you nor anything else will stand in my way.
Masters of the Universe. Next Friday at 4. Only Toonami.
Batman, this is the police. You are under arrest.
This Friday, The Dark Knight stands alone. Cartoon Network presents Mask of the Phantasm. Friday, December 1st at 5. Only Toonami.
Today at 4:30. Boot up and prepare for battle.
Look out!
Surrender! Toonami's all digital. Begin downloading. Today at 4:30.
Big X-Maggie.
Continuing our top local story. Hundreds of people report that they experienced a bright glowing mark in the skies over Tokyo last night.
It's coming. The world will not be destroyed. It will change.
Activating launch sequence. Counting countdown. I just control the operation of the system. Deciding to use it as the job of HYPERBOLE.
I don't like this. I've got a really bad feeling.
Phase 3 battle positions. Come on.
Anything else that might get in the way of our ideal must be destroyed immediately.
Are you crazy? Eliminating the boundaries between... Not enough. Let me repeat that. If this mission fails, if we are unsuccessful, we have no future.
That's utterly preposterous. It's not even logical.
This is not meaningless. This result is natural. Commence destruction.
You are stopping on the road to glory. Eternity shall be the symbol of hope for the people.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what I mean. That's the attitude that's ticking people off.
Continuing our top local story.
I'm trying to rid myself of my creature. Stop it, please. So you think you complete God? Of course not.
Stand aside!
Yeah, it's just like it is with the stars. There are bright ones and there are those that are dim.
Why can't I make you understand? This is insane.
Nothing good can ever come from staying with normal people.
Be very careful.
Time, roll the dice.
Don't let them escape. After them.
Lay the cards on the table. Take a shot at destiny. Outlaw Star. Tonight at 12:30. Only Toonami.
It's not possible.
This Saturday, Toonami's giving you some extra manpower.
Put some muscle into it.
Tear into a He-Manathon.
You shall be transformed into a great warrior.
A baker's dozen of He-Man. 15 classic episodes. This Saturday from 4:30 to 11 p.m. Let's get physical.
Good form.
Only Toonami. Earth's mightiest warriors. Only smaller. Dragon Ball. Weekdays at 5:30. They're so cute at that age. Only Toonami.
Nighttime at Toonami's changing, but it's always for the better.
Come on.
Hit him with everything you got!
At midnight at 8 MST.
Now it's your turn!
Followed by Outlaw Star at 12:30.
Have faith in me, guys. Enjoy the ride. You're in good hands.
Toonami. The Midnight Run. Tonight at 12.
The Black Star Dragon Balls have turned Goku into a kid again. Now, he must gather them all before the Earth is destroyed. Good luck, kid. Dragon Ball GT. Coming up next. Only Toonami.
After Colony 196, humanity finally achieves peace. But the ashes of war give birth to a new threat.
We at Colony L3X18999 hereby wish to declare war against the nation.
A child is building an empire to avenge her father.
I will rule the world.
With Gundams at her side, Earth will feel her fury.
Drop the colony onto Earth! Stop this at once!
The remaining pilots will battle each other to stop her.
I'm asking if you guys are doing the right thing!
The endless waltz of war, peace, and revolution continues.
See for yourself just how powerless you are.
Roger that. Prepare yourself for Gundam like you've never seen it before.
You will surrender!
A special Gundam Wing movie, Endless Waltz. Friday, November 10th at 5. Suit up again. Only Toonami.
Perhaps there was an age where people dreamed of the possibilities in the outer space.
With high expectations, human beings leave Earth.
To outer space! Every one of us!
This is a pretty large-scale operation.
Right, but it'll be dangerous.
So what? That's never stopped us before.
Right, but it'll be dangerous.
Commence operation!
We'll commence operations in 7 minutes.
904. Proceed to artillery.
Power levels to maximum!
Understood.
Second unit, stand by for orders.
Straight for the atmosphere.
All have to make it up to space!
Be patient.
Tactics level cleared. Continuing on strategic.
As requested, you are now connected to outer space.
Never forget how beautiful the Earth looks from afar.
Outer space. It's so quiet. The remaining frontier is outer space.
Will you please come with me?
Where to?
Outer space.
I hope I'm not too late.
Man, I love these Toonami intros.
I wonder how long I'll be able to see the moon like this.
The majority of people living in space are either technicians or laborers.
All right, take her out. Yeah, that's it. Keep her going.
All areas functioning.
Looks like we won't have any interference this time.
The shuttle will soon enter the atmosphere. Please be sure to fasten your seatbelt and remain seated.
We're ready to enter the atmosphere.
Next time we go out to space, how about leaving yourself a little bit of free time? Talented people are capable of understanding us.
Alright, there we go. Space is the place. End on that one. That's a good one. A classic. A classic. So here we are. In the year of our Lord, 2020. Dave will have his mic on in a second. I heard him.
Indeed.
There you go. There he is. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
How you doing?
I am doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm alright. AJ just went out and grabbed beer, so I'm in a good place for tonight.
Nice.
You know, the important things. Commissioner...
Gotta take care of priority.
Commissioner, I sent him messages early on saying, like, hey, make sure to have... Because he put a down payment for the stream tonight for the painting. I was like, hey, make sure to have that paid off and have all your refs in by November. He's like, oh, that's fine. I was like, well, I send reminders. He's like, I don't need them. Turns out he did need them, so... So I'll be working on a VHP page because he didn't. He sent me a basic description, but he said he was going to send me refs, and he never did.
Dun, dun. Also, we got to get more professional with our streaming, and you know what that means?
What does that mean?
It means we have to say shit that no one wants to hear at the top of the stream. Like, hey, everybody, if you ever want to actually see this, click the notification bell.
Yeah, that's true. Do that.
Like, subscribe.
Subscribe. Get on the Prime. Get on the sending tips.
Get on the Prime.
I mean,
Break into grandma's nursery home. Put this on her television. Stream it at all of her neighbors' laptops.
Remember,
get those metrics up.
I do not actually.
Remember, you can frighten me by giving a Prime subscription because it'll play a super loud noise because I didn't have time to figure out how to do that. But I did get it streamed on YouTube and Facebook. I got that working. Picardo and Periscope I still got to work on, but.
Yeah, Periscope is a little tricky, so I can maybe look at that with you tomorrow if you want.
Someone is saying my voice, Bone, you're really quiet, and Dave's really loud. Okay, great.
You're really quiet.
Is it? I got it balanced out on my stream pretty good, I think. So it'll be based on. Yeah.
Is my mic not picking up like it usually does? Okay, mic auxiliary.
I'm bumping your levels a little bit.
Oh yeah, they're pretty uneven. Let me put that down a bit. Let's try here. Talk real quick.
Talk really quick.
All right, that should be a little even in there.
There we go. It's nice the little visual bars make it a lot easier to balance stuff out.
There was a 3-car crash over there by the CVS where that sign used to be, where the other people crashed into.
The Walgreens, you mean?
Yeah, the Walgreens. Sorry, I always think
the one where everybody crashes, dominates the fucking sign.
It was a huge truck, this little Toyota Camry, and then some other black car. The whole front of that Toyota Camry is gone, like it's squished.
Damn.
And then the truck had like this huge thing in the side of it.
Wow.
And then later up the road, somebody was pulling out of the driveway or some sort of driveway, and you know how if your like tire gets caught down too low in the gutter, they got stuck right there. So I was just like, well.
It's just a fucking madhouse over there on the road tonight, I guess.
And then they had one more arboreal cave.
They did. Okay. So we got one that's not broken.
Yeah.
What is it with there's crazy car stuff going on here too. Like the other day, Liz was at Walmart and she told me in the Walmart parking lot, one car just erupted into flames and it was so bad it lit up the surrounding cars. So there was this whole chunk of like cars just like going full inferno in the parking lot.
All right, well,
oh man. It's like a goddamn Russian dash cam video.
I asked the chat if they could hear me, and all I got was what appears to be Nordic runes. So I don't know what that means. So if you can't hear me still, I have no idea. I hope you can. I balanced my level, which is weird that I'd have to do anything because it's the exact. I've never touched it. I don't know why it would be different this week.
Possibly if you've switched to using OBS, a Streamlabs OBS from regular.
Nope, I've been using that for months.
Oh.
I have no
idea.
idea.
I don't know. Also, anyone that wants to actually get their comments read tonight, it is Snake Pit, which means Bowen is the one watching the chat, which means if you're commenting on my stuff on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, it's going into a black hole. Go over to twitch.tv/Bonitis, and then you can talk to everybody.
And if you really want it read, here's the Streamlabs option. Those absolutely get read, unless it's a gamer word that'll get me fired from Twitch.
Those will get read for sure.
Those will get, I'll read those extra loud. What's up?
Just say gamer word.
What's TTS?
That's the fucking text-to-speech thing.
Oh, no, I don't have that.
You don't have this set up yet?
No, because I've seen what people do with that, and it looks like a great way to get your channel nuked in a minute.
You can block like bad words that get you in trouble. I don't know. It might be worth looking into.
You mean phrases like, I don't know how this election is going to turn out. That'll get you nuked on social media.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, you know how it turns out. You better say the right thing, you motherfucker.
We got a $3 donation from somebody that says, I don't know how this election is going to turn out.
I know exactly how it's going to turn out, actually. Do you guys want to know what's going to happen? Do you guys want to know what's going to happen? I know.
My mom already told me.
Let's look into Dave's crystal ball real quick.
Well, let's hear Dave's theory first.
What's going to happen is no matter what, this is for sure, we will not have a credibly elected leader.
Yeah, that's true.
So there you go. That's the future. That's the next 4 years. Doesn't matter which one of them old men is in office. Good half of the country is going to be screaming bloody murder the whole time.
Yeah, so it'll be exactly the same as the last 4 years.
Much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just going to be switching teams. Like last time, one team was like, "Oh, there's election interference," and then the other side was like, "No, we won. You guys are crazy."
I was kind of thinking
Absolutely
the same thing.
Just
like,
switch.
Isn't this just like the right-wing version of Russiagate? Like, isn't this the same thing? Like, if not, I don't know what exactly is different. I can only follow so many Twitter conspiracy theories at a time, but.
Although, speaking of conspiracy theories, did you see my Red Mirage? That's getting out there on blue checkmark accounts.
Is it out there? Did Red Mirage happen?
Oh, yeah? Is it in the wild?
It is. If you search Twitter, Red Mirage, or hashtag Red Mirage, there are blue check accounts that are using it exactly like my dumb conspiracy theories said they would last week.
Fantastic.
So, for anyone that was not here last week, this was my dumb conspiracy theory, and I love this because we were actually able to watch and see whether it happened or not. Within days, we didn't have to sit around and guess or wait for an FBI investigation to go on for like 5 million months. Last week, I said I saw this crazy conspiracy theory that they were deliberately making the election results hard to confirm, and they had talking points distributed to say that if it looked like Trump, to call it a Red Mirage, and then just say it was Biden anyways. Isn't that a crazy conspiracy? What precise wording that they would distribute? What are the odds that those talking points would go out just in that manner? It's like, well,
Rajak, if you're still not hearing me, are you listening on the Bonita stream or Dave's? Because that might be what's doing it.
It should be going out on my stream
as well.
Everybody
else says they can hear me fine. He says he's the one. He's the one guy saying he can't hear me. So I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
This multi-stream shit, man.
Yeah. Maybe
it's hard to pin it down.
Maybe he's listening on like Facebook or YouTube, and somehow it's different there. Yeah, everybody else says it's fine. I don't know. Maybe try hitting refresh, man. But everybody else seems to hear. I adjusted the levels, and that seemed to fix it. So.
Yeah, we do what we can, but tech issues persist.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, like with OBS, almost every build of OBS, for whatever reason, I don't know what the reason for this is, the mic audio is almost always way quieter than the desktop audio. So I always have to have my desktop audio turned down by 11 or 12. So
see, I got the exact same thing going on my computer.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, but it's always fucking like a problem, especially if you have like a condenser mic or something.
Weird.
I don't know.
Strange.
I don't know who the hell thinks that. Yeah, like my game audio should be way louder than me, like a fucking Dark Side Phil playthrough. Yeah, thanks OBS. We wanted that default for sure.
Well, for some reason, Rajak says if he goes over to Dave's stream, he can hear me fine. So I don't know what the hell's going on. That's weird. I don't know. Did you get that bottle? I have not gotten out to the liquor store yet. I have been very, very busy. So my husband had to go out and buy a beer tonight. So.
We have been busy. Even today, we were having like business meetings and crazy adult stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're real professionals these days.
Sucks.
It's something else.
What? Yeah. What other? Oh yeah, and I was trying to get someone to send me their goddamn refs. I think they bought this in like August. This happens all the time, by the way. Is people buy a spot and then never send their references. Like the amount of commission, I think that's why a lot of furry artists don't follow up on their commissions, is because like there are a lot of furries who will just forget that they bought a commission, and even if you schedule it and tell them like you can just run the fuck away. Like I've had people where I'll deliver a commission and they'll just say, "Oh wow, I forgot I bought this," and they're like, "Wow, what a nice surprise!" I'm like, Jesus, it's a lot of money to throw away on something you just forgot about.
It's a lot of money just to throw away on something for somebody else too.
Well, Well, I mean, it's for them. Usually, it's for themselves, but
I'm talking about the one guy. The one guy that fucking said he was me.
Oh yeah, that was totally. I don't know. I still don't know what that situation was.
the Hazen Bowl with the Hazen Milkers. Yeah.
What a bizarre adventure. What a bizarre summer.
Yeah.
That's my favorite mystery still.
Mine too, actually.
Like all this election stuff is like, oh, how much fraud was there? Was there fraud? Blah, blah, blah. I want to know who's the mystery Hazen Bowl. That's the fun mystery.
That's much more interesting.
If I had if I had a guide coin, that'd be what I'd learn if I threw it in the fucking water.
It turns out the answer is it was Joe Biden.
It was Joe Biden the entire time. She's like, I troll you, Hazen.
Wait, I forgot. Why did I do this? Who's Hazen? What? That's why he even bought it. Oh,
that's why he named himself Wonder Why, because he doesn't even fucking know.
He doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing.
You know, it would be a great reality show, which I think is how we should reform our political system. Is the percentage of the vote you get determines the percentage of time of the day you get to be in the White House. So if it's 50-50, they both just have to share that thing, and there has to be cameras rolling the whole time. Ooh. And it's they're both president. Welcome to the new reality show. 2 presidents, 1 White House. Ooh.
And we call it really Big Brother. Literally Big Brother.
Oh my God. This is horrifying.
The head of the CIA would always be giving the camera that Jim from The Office look when they're talking to each other and arguing. That'd be a fun show. I'd watch that.
We got a couple comments relating. London Megwolf says, "Tell Dave he's just given me a fork. He'll know what it means." I don't know what that means.
I know what it means.
Usually a chess thing.
Yes, it is when I have done something that is smart and I didn't realize I was doing it, but then the other person says, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Wait, why did they? Oh ho!" And essentially, I've got a position where if he does one thing, I get this piece. If he does the other thing, I get a different piece. Either way, I win. It's a David Xanatos. It's awesome. It feels so good. It feels so good to fork somebody over.
I actually learned a fuck ton about chess this week because what's his face, Frederick Knudsen, the Down the Rabbit Hole guy, put out that video about the Deep Blue computer system. That was it was 2 hours long.
I haven't seen that.
You're in that?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I just listened to it while I was building furniture this week. It was really interesting. Learned a lot about chess. Don't really have a lot of interest in playing. Just don't, whatever. But that was really interesting documentary.
It's a very interesting game.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a version of chess that has instead of little chess pieces, little Warhammer figurines.
I'm sure that exists.
Oh yes, that has been made. Don't worry.
Because that would be adorable.
Someone says, Bone, you probably won't like me commissioning you. My ref is 20 pages long. Oh yeah, you'd have to cut that down to 280 characters. I don't accept 20. I don't accept long descriptions. 20.
Where the fuck do you see that?
Someone in the chat says it. I don't know. I don't even know.
Oh.
Well, people will do that. They'll send me oh, here's a story I wrote. I want you to draw this character though. I'm like, well, can you just send me a description of the character? They're like, it's in there. I'm like, no, because then I got to read your awful fiction and highlight all the important parts. I just need to know what does he look like? What color is he? It's really not that hard. What I always tell people is, how do you want the piece to feel? That's what I need to know outside of physical character details. It's do you want this to be cool or sexy or epic or scary or Once I know those descriptors, I know
epic.
Well, you change your camera angles, you furrow their brow a little more. It depends on what you do. It's how you want it to feel.
Epic.
I hate you so much.
I want to be epic. That's how I want my commission to feel when I get one.
So super gay?
I don't want it to be epic. I want it to be epic.
Yeah. All right. Dave just saved the cable networks with that idea. Warhammer chess is real. I know a shop who sells such a thing. Also, World of Warcraft chess, League of Legends chess. Yeah, figures.
LOL chess. It's just LOLs.
Yeah, LOL chess. It's just you have different acronyms from the internet. And if you buy it, someone comes to your house and kills you.
I make a version of chess with DLC where it's essentially pay to win.
Against another person?
Yeah, like where it's like, oh, if you're playing chess, like you got to do these microtransactions to buff your pieces, otherwise you don't really have a chance. Just totally undermining the whole point of the game.
That sounds like something that might come out of China eventually.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
My parents have this really beautiful all glass chess set that we've had in the family forever. It's really cool.
You should drop it. Be like, oops.
Oopsie.
I won.
My dad bought it from the comic shop I went to growing up. He just really liked it, and we've had it like my whole life.
Oh, no.
I got an old like glass Avon chess set somewhere. I don't know where the fuck that shit's at, but it's like, I don't know. It's like worth money. Yeah, Avon used to sell like a really nice, like heavy ass, like tempered glass chess set.
Oh.
And it's I think it's it must be my parents' house, but I remember like I always wanted to play. We had like a little plastic one, and I was like, I want to play the glass one. That looks cool. I was a kid. And my dad was like, no, fucking no way, dude.
You'll break it. You little shit.
No, you're not playing with that shit.
It's like, well, why do you have it if you're not going to play it? It's like to look at what we are. We wanted to have something that was so good it was too good for us to ever have.
So we just buy things so they can sit in a closet, and nothing can ever fucking happen.
Well, it could break.
It's like the fine china. It's like, oh, we can't eat on the fine china. Why not? Because it's too good for us.
It's too good for us, the family that owns it.
Yeah.
AJ's family has this. They've got a Lord of the Rings chess set from like the 60s or 70s that's all pewter. It's really pretty, but it's so old that like the pewters started to droop, so some of the characters look a little droopy.
Oh no.
Yes. It's really pretty though. London Megawolf says, Dave, it is you that is being forked. I did not know that.
Oh.
I was thinking I would go back to lightchess.com and see some brilliant thing that I did, and apparently it's going to be some retarded move that I made that has totally screwed me over. As usual.
You got forked.
Yeah.
That's what I should
deal with it on your own time,
dude. That'd be a good sound effect for when people subscribe. Is you got forked? Like that'd be a good one. You got that like weird alien voice. That'd be good. You got forked, and it's like
you can use your own sound effects. You can get Hazen to record some stuff.
No, I know. It's just
you can. I don't think it takes MP3. I think you have to convert it to OGG, or maybe you don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, you can plug whatever you want in there.
No, I'd like to.
My shit.
I'd like to. It's just the time thing. I got more of the stream working this week, so that was like, okay, it's streaming to more of the spots it's supposed to. Good.
Baby steps from a baby boy.
Thank you. Hey, I've been fucking busy this week. I'm
still
late on this goddamn VHB page. I feel terrible, but it's just every day there was something, or I had to run so many fucking errands.
Do you have where it's like, oh, you go to the grocery store, you come back, and then it's like, well, time to go to the grocery store?
Yeah, it's like, oh, gotta go again tomorrow because I bought a bunch of food, but I can't actually cook any of it because I forgot one ingredient, and now this whole dish is ruined.
Milk. It's always fucking milk for me, or Crisco flour.
So that's easy.
Oh, are you lactose intolerant or something?
A little bit, yeah. We figured that out. My brother's really lactose intolerant. I'm just a little bit. I can handle it. I can handle a little bit, but it's something I recently learned.
He can't handle any at all. Don't listen to him. Don't give him ice cream.
I ate Reese's Pieces at your house, and that has lactose in it, and I was fine. How dare you?
Those weren't Reese's Pieces. Those were decoys. I'm sorry.
It is like that. There are some like differing degrees of it though, because I remember there was this big fat dude we used to roll with. Dude, he was like super lactose intolerant. It would like make him like shit himself, and he fucking didn't care. He would just drink like chocolate milk and shit. Just constantly shitting.
Not even regular milk. Literally chocolate milk when he knows what's going to happen to it.
Oh, we got a tier 1 sub.
Yeah.
Bone, did it pop up? Did it make a little noise?
It made
little
the noise.
Jingle?
It wasn't that I think I've got my volume turned down a bit, or maybe because of the desktop sound, so it didn't like scare the fuck out of me this time, but
Did you hear it?
Oh, I heard it, yeah.
It did make a noise. Okay, so it did make a noise.
It made
you
the
can
noise.
Control the volume, I think, in Streamlabs.
I don't know, it's just last time it was overwhelmingly loud.
I have mine like that on purpose. Like if you follow me on Twitch, it'll do the follow me, set me free from fucking Sonic Adventure.
That's really gay.
And it's
Really
like pumped up really fucking loud. I forget about it, and every time it fucking scares the living shit out of me.
No, we figured it out last stream. You weren't here. That was on Monday, but it started happening, and like the first time it happened, it scared the fucking shit out of me. I was like, "What is that?" It was so loud.
Turn it down.
It made me. I think we should rig it up. Take that idea, just push it. Like have it where someone subscribes to you, and it just sets off a claymore in your studio.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really funny.
Yeah,
Like
no. Remember my idea was that there's like a taser in my chair.
Yeah.
I have to like try and paint while I'm being actively tasered.
Get one of those totally real electrocute things that people used to do YouTube videos where they would like when they would swear, it would electrocute them, and it totally did that.
It didn't really do it, did it?
It totally like detected it or had a current running through it. Yeah.
I mean, I could just put AJ. He could stand in the back of the room and he'd tase me on command. He's a good husband that way.
We're learning details about your relationship that maybe too much information.
No, it's not a sex thing. It's just because he thinks it's fun.
Too hot for Twitch.
Yeah, well, I gotta be careful about that too. Do not.
Gotta
there's some people who do like electrocution stuff. I found that out.
That's awesome. That's cool. Can I post?
But electrocution feels bad.
Dave can't drink milk. No, Dave can drink milk. I can't. Or is milk?
A little bit of electrocution feels okay. Like that, they do like shock therapy and stuff that way.
I thought I don't know. The only experience I have with it was I once shocked myself on a control panel in a submarine, and it felt really bad. And I don't want to do that again.
Zap.
I got zapped by a stingray once. That felt fucking weird.
Stingray?
Yeah, well, a skate technically. They've got like a 4-volt charge. It's really low, but it's enough that like if you step on them, you'll like your whole leg will buzz, and it'll just kind of kick out from under you, and you'll fall on your butt.
It's kind of funny.
That is a little bit funny. My dad, he said one time this guy was like a janitor at whatever plant he was working at the time, and he said that there was like a current, somehow like a wire got loose in like one of the fucking control boxes or whatever, and he like put his hand on like one of the metal tables and then to like prop himself up and reach up to like clean something like up on the shelf, and he like his hand like grazed against the fucking control box and it zapped him, and he was like, oh shit, I better tell somebody what happened. So he went and got like the fucking supervisor. He's like, okay, so what happened? He's like, well, I put my hand down like this on this table, and then I reached up here, and then he fucking touched it again when he was reaching it, and he just went and just like fell on the floor and had like a fucking heart attack.
Yo, check it out. I did exactly this. Ah!
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Oh wow, it happened again. That's crazy.
Some of the crazy shit that would happen in like plants back in the fucking 80s and 90s. Like, I remember they had like somewhere he worked. I think it was when he was working in textiles. They had like oxygen tubes, like where they would like put oxygen in things, and some idiot contractor thought it was like a fucking CO2 compressed air tank thing, right?
Yeah.
So he just blows dust all over his clothes. Like he like blows himself off with this thing to get all the dust and shit off of him. And then he like immediately goes, like nobody knows what the fuck has happened, right? And he goes out into the fucking little like break area, and he lights a fucking cigarette. Whoa, like just fucking roaring flames everywhere. And he's like running down the hall like fucking that scene from Red Dragon, and this huge fucking black guy fucking like just clotheslines his ass, and he puts like a fire retardant blanket on him, and he goes, "Don't you move!" They fucking get the hospital, the fucking ambulance out there. Can you imagine that, sitting on the smoke break and some guy just gets engulfed in flames like a fucking curse?
Dude, no, that happened to one of my friends in high school. It was really bizarre. He was he had a Zippo, and he was changing the Zippo fluid, and he changed it in like a small space, and then he did a bad job of it, and then he lit it, and because there was still like fumes in the air, it lit him on fire, and he was wearing like this nylon jacket that like melted onto his skin. It was awful.
Oh.
He had like he like didn't come to school for weeks, and we're like, where the hell's Tim at? Like, what happened? We find out eventually. It's like, oh yeah, he like melded a Nike jacket onto himself.
Pro tip, if anyone's ever doing electrical engineering work, don't wear nylon and don't wear polyester, because you'd rather have something made of cotton that will burn off of your body if bad things happen. You don't want something that melts onto you, and they'll have to like peel it off at the hospital.
That's what they had to do. He had like these scars on him. He looked like he'd gotten attacked by like a jaguar, or like the scars on him from this shit.
A jaguar.
Like, because he had like, it was just these huge red like rashes that were like long. It looked awful. Because I saw him once like take off his shirt because he had to apply like, you know, like that burn cream stuff, and I was like, holy shit, Tim. So yeah, like
Wolverine got all of him.
He looked like He looked like fucking Deadpool from Wolverine
Vast
Origins.
Stampede.
Yeah, like there you go. Yeah.
I forget where I even heard this, but some of the high voltage stuff, like in electrical companies, I'm pretty sure they have more safety features in place now. But who was telling me this? I don't remember. But they were saying that back in the day, if you wanted to commit suicide, like, and you're working in some of these electrical, like transformers and factory areas, the best way to do it would be to go up to like the super high voltage thing, turn off the safety features, and just grab it, and the charge would be so huge, you basically explode into 1,000 pieces like instantly.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Like a fucking piece of popcorn.
Or like, what do you know? If there's someone you don't like, you just turn off those safety features and oops, accidentally push him into it. Oh, he detonated. Oh my god!
No evidence. He's atomized.
He's atomized. Yeah. Like Dr.
Probably some evidence, but
it's like on Fallout when you hit him with a fucking energy weapon.
It's like there's probably evidence, but like how many people are gonna go through with a Q-tip and gather all of it?
What's this dust on the floor? I don't know, man.
You just no, all you do is you
not an ashtray ever.
Like if there's blood on you, or you say, "Oh my god, he said all this stuff about how his life wasn't worth it anymore," and then he touched it, and now he's gone. At the Angels.
Turned into a red mirage.
Chris Brown says, "No worries, I don't wear clothes when I do electrical work." That's good. That's what they teach you.
Smart.
That's smart.
Smart.
Or
how do you use clip-on tools?
Someone's saying, no, you can't kill someone that way because they might come back as Dr. Manhattan. That's right. That's how you can. Oh yeah, that's what happened.
Good old Captain Manhattan.
That's what happened. Red sauce everywhere. You blow up like Rorschach. Yeah. Well, I don't need safety goggles because I'm Homer's. Yeah. God damn, that's fucking crazy. Blue Paw's saying he's been tased. He says it sucks. 10 out of 10. Don't recommend. I've always wanted to be tased, but then I also hear that it feels like shit, so I kind of don't. But I kind of do.
Oh, you want to be tased?
Like a little bit.
It's not a fun experience.
Weird. I've always wanted to tase an idiot. So we should set it up.
We'll make that a tier on the false start Indiegogo, as if we get a certain amount.
If we raise $120,000, I will get tased on live.
A video of me getting tased in Dave's backyard.
not for real though. Not for real. Like, dude, what if you died? You're already lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
A taser might push you over the edge.
It'll shoot all that milk into me. What if it cures me?
What if? Yeah, I was gonna say, what if it cures your fucking Lyme disease?
I'm better.
I don't hurt in the morning anymore.
Wow, got rid of costochondritis. That's crazy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
And who'd have thought?
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So yeah.
Better than the magic water people.
The magic water. Oh yeah, that's right. The people who tried to cure me with magic water. Well, it was water that was synced to my my sickness's frequency, which I don't think illnesses have that, but whatever. It was covered by government health insurance at the time.
Yep. What the hell?
Yeah. What
was this? Some kind of like Qigong crap or something?
Yes, but it was covered. The government covered this.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they used like calipers like you'd use in like phrenology and like measured. They're like, oh yeah, we gotta grab you here and do this springy stuff, and then we're gonna. Oh yeah, and they used tuning forks to tune the water to the frequency of my malady, and we're like, all right, now you drink this a little bit every day, and I was like. And I kept trying to question it, and they're like, yeah, and it's just like, oh my god, this is a complete scam. None of this is real.
I had friends that were into that, and they're like the weirdest thing was like they also kind of mixed it with that like law of attraction shit. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like if you want something, it'll come to you, and what comes to you is because you secretly want it. And the thing was, like, she tried to talk to and she was like completely like a true believer of all this shit, right? She tried to like explain to them that she had been like sexually assaulted by like her cousin at one point in her life.
Well, she must have
and then
wanted that.
like that's what they like tried to like push on her. They're like, well, like, did you ever feel like you were attracted to him or something like that? And she kind of like said like, well, I guess so. I mean, I did want like attention like that, but not like that. And then like I was trying to tell her, like, these people are fucking convincing you that you like were like literally asking for it, and you were like fucking 13 or some shit. And she was just like, well, I mean, these people know what they're talking about. And I was like, this is when they talk about there's no such thing as a dangerous ideology and shit, there's definitely such things as dangerous ideology. That's one to me.
Yeah, tell people in Jonestown that it's not a dangerous ideology.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, people I guess I prefer to say less dangerous ideologies and more just not all ideas are good ideas. There's a lot of bad ideas out there. Don't believe everybody. Don't listen to somebody just because they seem like an expert.
Yeah, really, and as history will tell us, there are thousands of people on this earth that fucking cannot distinguish the difference between good and bad ideas.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, I think the takeaway from this is just listen to us.
Yeah, it's us. We got all the good ideas.
We're renaming this show to Thought Congress. That's us now. We are the Thought Senate. If we don't say that it's a good idea, it's not.
Wait, Thought Congress. Thought spelled how?
However you want.
Because if it's THOT,
we'll get more donations if it's THOT.
That's true, but I feel like I've got a lot of competition that I'm not prepared to live up to.
Automod's still catching the word thought, even though I've allowed the word thought a million times.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah,
why do you think that is, Bone?
I don't know. It's crazy.
You don't know?
No. Well, you told me it's because of that. Because of the Twitch mods are friends.
We all know.
Girls.
Was like 2 or 3 specific ones. Yeah.
And like I've explained it. Like I don't get it. I don't understand because that never occurs to me. It's like, you know what I want to do with my time is watch a girl play video games. Like,
well, Bone, I mean, that's because you're not a retard. that's because you're not a retard.
That's debatable, but okay.
I know that's like funny, but that's really like, have you seen some of these guys like who they don't just like hang out in these girls' chats? They make like videos and stuff and try to like siphon off of their audience and shit. Like they'll make videos like defending them and shit. It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
I don't know if I could watch that. Like it'd be like too upsetting. I'd be like, oh no, your whole life you've made so many mistakes. You can come back.
These are the kind of guys. These are the kind of guys that like go up to fucking girls in bars and start talking about like some girl in a bar who's got like a fucking sports like thing on, like a jacket or something, and they're there to like watch a sports game, and they'll go up to them and be like, so did you hear about the new Assassin's Creed game coming out?
That's me. That's
like,
I'm kidding.
There you go.
Yeah, like don't do that.
Just masking it.
Don't do that.
No, like they're the exact same kind of fucking thing. Pokey forgot to flush. What the fuck?
Did that happen?
Oh no! Wait, what is
turd?
this? I haven't heard. Okay, look, I don't keep up with these bitches on Twitch, dude. Like,
I really hope one of them left a big.
If she forgot to flush some poop down or something,
that'd be the funniest thing.
I need to hear about this.
Yeah,
because that is funny. That does sound very funny.
That sounds really gross, but why would that even be something that you could know about as an audience member? Like, they don't have like cameras.
Because these people. Oh, Dave, oh my God, these people, like, there's nothing. The only thing, the women who do this shit, the only thing private about their life is whether or not they have a boyfriend, because they have to keep that in like a constant state of mystery. Because if they say they don't, all these dudes will flood their inbox even more. If they say they do, a lot of them just kind of go away. Have you ever seen that little like Reddit entry where that guy was like, I spent over $1,000 on this girl's thing, and then I found out she was married the whole time, and I told her, I don't like that. I'm gonna go to this other Twitch girl's chat and mod her chat for her.
Well, it's pathetic, and it's also like you realize you were just trying to buy a wife, but like you weren't. Like you can just do that. Like Joe buy like a Russian
buying
bride.
girlfriend.
Like, just do that. You can do it. Just, you're trying to trick yourself that it's anything but. Man, being lonely is a hell of a drug. It does stuff to people.
Oh, dude, like and I feel for these guys, man. Like being lonely, everybody gets lonely, like from time to time. People who are married feel loneliness, like just that's like a thing that just cycles through you. But
it's part of the human condition, sure.
At some point, you have to take responsibility. Like everywhere you go, every girl you talk to, everybody you fucking try to be friends with, eventually just kind of like ghosts you or like keeps you at arm's length. Maybe something's up with you.
You're weird.
Maybe you need to look at yourself and make some changes.
Yeah.
And yes, Super Flat Psycho, they do have to defend their Twitch waifus. That's why you should just get a 2D waifu.
It's way easier. Oh, I didn't know about these, but I learned about tulpas this week.
You're just now learning about that? Shit.
I didn't know what tulpas were, and I listened to a guy describe it, and I'm like, this is just like those guys that they have like furry girlfriends and stuff, and
oh no, that's exactly what they use that for.
Well, yeah, like they just like it's just an imaginary, it's just an OC, but you try and make it sound like it's real, and it's like, no, it's another thing where you're just lonely.
I forget what tulpa is. Is it sort of like a spirit that you can conjure to curse people or something?
Like in the original myth, it's like a Thai or Malaysian myth thing where it's it's like a being that lives in your head, and it was probably like it's probably like people in Malaysia that had to deal with schizophrenics, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And they're like, oh, it was a tulpa, you know.
Got some good pictures of her. She was waving to the camera, being all cute.
I got a little spider on stream.
Oh,
she just built a new cage for her, or assembled a cage, I should say.
Where can they look at your stream? Is it twitch.tv/living?
Oh, just do the multi. Just do the multi. Yeah, here, I'll put a thing.
Thank you.
There you go.
Have that, yeah.
Do that. It's where's the door? Can I get her out?
Yeah, you have a lock right here. You gotta.
Oh, nice.
Twist it.
Oh, you can.
And then you can.
Oh, it slides up.
Yeah.
Oh no, hold on. I'm scared she's gonna like skedaddle. Oh, it's like okay. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now she can web up there.
Yeah.
What kind of spider is it?
It's a jumping spider. It's a Phidippus regius. Oh, she's not really in the mood to play around. Okay. But she's a big fucking fat jumping spider. Here, let me close this up. I'll see if I can put her close to the camera.
Ooh, yeah, I think I saw it for a second.
It's hard to see because of the fucking reflection shit. But she's like, let me turn these weird filters off.
You got all the filters on.
Yeah,
I think I see her down there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you like spiders and stuff?
I like big ones. I don't like the small ones that try to kill me, like redbacks and shit. I'm not really another, or black widows, whatever they call them. There she is. Right there. Let me see if I can get her to move. Can you move, baby?
That's cool.
Come here. Hold on. I'm gonna open the cage a little bit.
Filters on, you do look like me. This is freaky.
Can you move around just a little? Let him see you. There she goes. See?
Yeah, dude, that's cool. Oh, that's a pretty spider. Ooh, she's pretty.
That's a jumping spider, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That bitch is big as my thumbnail, too.
No, she is
you see the camera?
Yeah, I'm taking a look at her. Oh, she's fast.
Wow.
Yeah, she's just as fast as the little ones that just dart around like fucking instant transmission.
Look at those little mandibles. Oh, beautiful. Fun fact.
It's like stop motion things.
Fun fact, the guy who created Ghost in the Shell, Shiro Masamune, he collects spiders, so...
Oh, that explains the little...
The Tachikomas, yes.
Like octopod mechanoid things. What were they called?
Tachikomas.
Tachikomas, I remember that now, yeah.
Yep, that's why they're all spiders, because he just likes spiders.
Fucking dude.
Yeah.
Dan's in the chat. He says, Jesus fucking Christ, Hazen, you do look like kid.
It's weird. We look really alike.
Hey, Mutton Shop, thank you for following on Twitch. And just a reminder, the chat that is being monitored during Snake Pit is always Bonitis' chat. So yes. Twitch.tv/Bonitis if you want to read out your chats.
We see the alerts though. Everybody should see alerts if you follow the channels now. And sometimes Dave, I don't really stream a lot, so don't worry about following me, but Dave streams a lot doing his art. So if you want to follow him, know when he's coming up doing Dreamkeeper stuff. He'll have his thing on there.
I'll be streaming more and more. It's just a habit to acquire. I'm slow to acquire habits, but once I have them forever. So.
Yeah, pro tip, if you draw art, especially like comic stuff that you want people to get into, stream drawing that art. Don't worry about spoiling shit for people. People don't care. They say they care, they don't care.
Well, like if they really care, they just won't watch the stream. Like
yeah, if it's really bothers, they won't fuck with it, but most people don't give a fuck. Blue PAW says that fucking or Blue Paw, sorry.
So let's say paw, that's what that spells.
But it's like a weird thing. Anyway, he says that I should go to cons as your body double.
Yeah, there we
go. Funny, how funny would it be, Kit, if we went to a con and I just sat next to you dressed exactly like you're dressed and we did like the Eric Andre bit where like everything you say, I say and do like right after you.
Dude, people would be freaking out. They'd be like, wait. They wouldn't know if it's like a bit or it's like, are they twins or are they married? What's happening? Like,
we never break character. We never like fold.
And you don't address it. You don't address it either.
Yeah.
People ask, like, what are you talking about?
What is going on here? What are you talking about? Yeah.
That'd be good. I have had people at cons like dress like me, and then when I'm not at my table, they'll sit there, and people will just be like, "Oh yeah, that's Bone." It'll be like someone who weighs like 200 more pounds than me, or just total, or a girl, or anything, and people will be like, "Oh wow, I didn't even notice the difference." Like,
even easier for me to do that. All I have to do to get a body double at my table is just be like, "Hey, wear this hat," and no one can tell the difference.
They will
the
not
hat
know.
Is more of a
people will not know. They're just like, "Oh, outfit." They associate the outfit more than anything. So.
Yeah, that's how the fucking mob used to get away with fucking like murder people in the street, dude. You know that? Like, I don't know if you had any Irish people in your family that were in the fucking like Hell's Kitchen shit, but they would all show up on like a block somewhere wearing a bunch of uniforms, like Navy uniforms or something like that, and then they turn around and just murder the motherfucker that they wanted to kill, and nobody would remember anybody's face. They'd just be like, "Yeah, there's a bunch of guys in Navy uniforms."
Yeah.
So they could never fucking like catch him.
There was a comic where they talked about it was like the earliest robbers. They did it naked because everybody would just remember, oh, it was like these naked guys. What did they look like? I don't know. There was naked men robbing us.
Yeah.
So it was more.
I didn't want to look at them.
Well, or they did, and they were just like
dudes.
all they remembered was naked men. They didn't really remember specific features.
Yeah, the weakness came into play when you had one guy like, I can tell you every detail of those robbers.
Yeah, they were all undone by a really gay dude.
Just get them in a lineup and take their pants off. I can point them out to a man.
Yeah, Dan.
Kathy Curtis.
Dan's like his trans race bonitis icons. That's true. Dan will watch my table, but Dan's very Asian looking, so sometimes people realize that's not me. Other times, not so much.
What kind of Asian is he? Is he Cambodian?
No, I think Dan's mostly Korean Chinese with a little Japanese, if I remember correctly what he told me.
Whoa. That's an interesting mix, considering the age his parents probably are, right? Like.
Yeah. Well.
Roof Korean. Hell yeah.
He really likes roof Korean jokes. Don't worry. Those are like he aspires to be one of them. Those are his favorite people in history.
We'll get along just fine then. If that's the case.
Dan's a cool guy. When he's at cons, he just helps us out, which is great because he's good at doing physical things because he's in the military.
He's a military.
He is 100% a military.
He's an entire military unto himself.
Hello, Bones. Sorry I missed your... Oh, this must be Commissioner. Is this on Telegram your cryo? But
Shrike!
Oh boy. He goes... Well, he's got a couple different names. Hey, it's okay. I can't get to it because I'm streaming right now. Hopefully you're working things out. This happens all the time. Don't worry about it. I've got comics to paint, so... Dave, what are you working on?
Always something to work on.
What are you working on? Oh, you're working on that guy from Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on that Dungeons and Dragons character that I invented before they had it in their advertisements.
It's so funny how similar they look.
Yeah.
two people had the idea. What if a horned owl really had horns?
The only explanation is that they had a security drone that was inside of my residential area that was watching me, and they're like, "There we go. That's the Dungeons and Dragons character we need to design next."
Yeah, this guy, this David guy's got all the ideas, but we don't want to pay him for them.
Yeah. So that would have been the big bucks.
These ideas. I don't know if like people who work on D&D stuff make a lot of money. I know, like,
I hope they do.
I mean, you never know though. You're like, wow, these guys have some of the most popular fantasy art in the world, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking poor because they didn't pay me much.
A lot of times, like the companies that you would think would provide good careers, it's like they actually pay dirt, and it's almost like they're knowingly sort of exploiting the fact that they have all that name recognition. And it's like, oh, you can say you worked for Marvel, but you can't say you worked for Marvel for $40,000 a year. No, you can't say that. But you can say you worked for Marvel. It's like, well, it's better than Starbucks, I guess. There we go.
Oh, I mean, see, and that's the thing is, Marvel and DC did pay like really well in the '90s. It was no secret. The guy, the Tom Lyle, the guy who died last year, my old mentor, he worked for Marvel, and he had one year where he made $264,000 in a year drawing Spider-Man. Like, that's buku bucks. Like,
at this point, though, like the only people making money like that, I think, like there's probably a very tiny number of rock stars that are the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, people in the professional comics industry, they don't make much money. If you want to actually have a good shot at making money, you got to build yourself up in the crowdfunding market, because that's where you actually have an open door.
Yeah.
That's where it is now. And boy, remember how much they taught us about that in school, Dave? The crowdfunding market and what a big place that would be. Oh wait,
not at all. It didn't even exist when we started doing Dreamkeepers. I was doing pre-orders on my website with PayPal buttons before Kickstarter existed.
I remember PayPal buttons on websites. Like, oh man. That's how you did pre-order. You had like crowdfunding before crowdfunding then.
Kinda.
I did.
He had like the fucking Eric Schwartz thing. He had on his comic, just like a little tip jar.
Yeah. Or like my favorite is what
I didn't have a tip jar, but I did have when we had a book release, I'd be like, hey, it's time for pre-orders for this book release. Pre-order using this PayPal button on this website and use this PayPal button. A different version. And no, so it was like it was basically as close as you could get to Kickstarter, having just a guy who can barely do a website. And then later on they made Kickstarter, and I was like, oh cool, this is good. And then Kickstarter kicked me off with plausible deniability, and I was like, fuck, well, there goes that.
Yeah. There were like the furry pay porn sites, which like those have all just migrated to Patreon. Like they still work identically. They're just like, now I don't gotta keep up with the website no more. Though I guess some of them probably still do, just for like old fogies who are like, no, I liked using sexyfur.com. I ain't using no Patreon. I want to go to Club Stripes, damn it.
Club Stripes.
Are those websites still around even?
I don't. I know they all have Patreons. I don't know if they're still websites. God, there was Hard Blush, Club Stripes, Sexy Fur, and then whatever the Zigzag guys was. Something after. It was like his was like something Fur After Dark, I think. Those were
Fur After Dark. That was on Schwartz's site for the longest time.
Yeah, there were four of them, and it was like
I actually got a subscription to that once, just to see what they had on there.
Yeah,
it wasn't that great. Like I was like, oh, like porn I can pay for. This must be like
the best.
Like I went into it with the expectation like it's gonna be better than free stuff, right? And it just wasn't. Like I don't know. Everything that was so limited to it felt like I can't remember exactly all what was up with it, but like I just remember going there and being like, I'm never fucking paying for this shit again.
Yeah. I'd never subscribed to any. I just remember those because those were all around when I was in college and high school, and there were lots of ads for them.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, that was the big thing. Was if you got picked up by one of those, it was like, ooh, now you're making the real money. Not really, but
you could go on to make like good money, but
Sure.
like
Some
I don't know
people
what they paid.
some people do.
Yeah.
I think the Sexy Fur guy, Jeremy Bernal, he's an interesting guy. I think he does pretty well for himself.
I think that's what what's his name, Miles or whatever. He was working for some magazine, like a physical magazine, right?
Miles
or something.
DF, not that I know of. He worked for Miles DF worked for Sexy Fur for a while though. He got picked up by them.
Sexy Fur. Is it just me, or does the word sexy just feel like a fucking baby boomer word now?
It's a little odd to say, sure.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like if you can't walk up to a girl and say that, and
No, normally
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
never walk up to a girl at the sports bar and tell her, "Hey, I've got a subscription to Fur After Dark and Sexy Fur. You want a bone, lady?" Chicks.
Bae, come over. I can't. I just renewed my subscription to Sexy Fur.
Yeah. Yo.
That would be a great commercial for that site, incidentally.
That would be.
Say no more, fam.
Say no more. Oh, dude.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Dude, do you want a Sexy Fur and chill? Wow, sign me up.
Sign me the fuck up.
My panties are dropping already. I can't believe it. Oh, there's a subscription for somebody. Wholesome Bean 34 asking, "Hey, can I advertise something?" I mean, you can try. If it's super gay, I might delete it, but you know.
Who are you to judge super gay? You are super gay.
I know, right?
You'd be the perfect one.
Exactly.
I don't think he's subbing. I think he's following. It's not like YouTube, Bone. Subscriptions are paid on Twitch, and you can subscribe free with your Amazon Prime.
No, it's great. I do like it. I do like the
Amazon Prime. Is that like the newest Transformer?
Do you not?
Yeah.
Dave, you know what Amazon Prime is. Please tell me you know what that is.
I am Amazon Prime.
Dave, do you got?
I think it's like. Is it another streaming service? Is it like Netflix, only like the Disney streaming, only like the Amazon streaming?
No, that's Amazon Prime Video. Amazon Prime is just like you get the free deliveries and the fast deliveries and stuff. I've got a Prime Business account. It's helpful.
Dave, there is no way you don't know what Amazon Prime is.
You'd be surprised.
I was faking not knowing it. I do know what it is. It's for business.
See, Dave, do you have a burn on your hand?
Oh, no, it's a little scrape. I was mowing the lawn, doing some yard work, and I just like rubbed my hand up against a branch, caught between my branch and like the handle.
See, because I know what it looks like when someone gets in a fight at the dog park by their hands. So I was thinking, that's a. But Dave doesn't go to the dog park, to my knowledge.
It was a nice day, and I was like, I need to mow some leaves. So I was mowing up the leaves, and I just bumped my hand. It's not a big deal. I'm just too dumb to put gloves on when I do yard work. I gotta burn up.
Time to make some chowder.
Since they've sent me a whisper, can you do that on Twitch?
Maybe it's in Streamlabs.
Good luck finding it.
I was like,
what's a whisper?
Wait, where is it?
Oh no, we don't.
I have no idea. People for the longest time were sending me DMs on fucking Twitch. I'd never. It was like 3 years later when I stopped streaming.
If
Twitch has a system for DMs.
I have no idea. So whatever that is, I don't. Sorry, I came on. Oh, it's the guy who got the commission. He says, "Sorry, I came on late." It's excuse me, Cryo, and I sent you a whisper. Oh, buddy, I don't know how to check whispers, especially in multi-stream mode. Oh boy.
Someone whisper us the instructions for how to check a whisper.
Yeah.
Someone put us on the Whisper Network, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh God. Yeah, we probably are.
Need to know.
All things.
I think we're probably on both of the Whisper networks now, thanks to my little articles.
We did it. We made it.
Did you mention yet that like apparently they had like some stream about like, you know, we should really think about if we're really doing this like to make good comics or whatever. I don't know what it was you saw.
Wait,
what? I haven't mentioned that to Bowen yet.
No,
Bowen,
what did you see?
So for anyone that's not familiar with the context, I'll lay it out really quick. I wrote an article I wrote an article for Bleeding Fool about Comicsgate, and the basic gist of the article was, it seems like it's not really about comics. It's more about like e-celebs and culture war stuff. So that was basically the article. But Bone, suddenly, like within the last week, there was a stream, I guess, with all these big Comicsgate guys, and one of the big things they were talking about on the stream was like, well, we have to make sure this movement's actually about the merit and quality of the work, not just about e-celebs and, you know, loyalty pledges and things like that. It's like, really interesting timing that this is a subject you guys bring up.
I think you ended up putting that on your YouTube too, because it didn't really I don't think anybody really saw it. I'm being full. I don't know. I don't know what their numbers are like.
Low. So I think I'm actually going to start putting all of my Bleeding Fool articles on YouTube, because I did that whole article for Anthrobrand lately where I was like, you should be making video content if you want to grow. Even an article on YouTube to get wider. And it's like, you know what? Well, maybe it would be like smart for me to take my own advice and put all of the articles I've been writing on YouTube, because I mean, some websites don't really get a lot of traffic or traction, so I should probably just also put it on YouTube. Why not?
Yeah, because putting stuff on YouTube does two things. Anytime somebody sees moving shit in front of them, they're way more likely to just fucking actually take a look at what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why you see a lot of people, you know, on Twitter who have like actual engagement with their posts. There's like a little GIF or a video or a fucking, even just a picture on it versus text. And people want to, like, selling shit now on the internet especially is not just about a product. It's not about what you're making. It's like like people want to buy stuff you make, and they want to buy stuff from people that they like, that they agree with. So putting video content out there and letting people kind of get to know you and stuff like that will help people decide like whether or not they actually want to support this fucking person who's making this thing that they might or might not like.
Yeah, so I think just generally the more we get out there, the better it is, because it seems like the main strategy of the people who want to bury us is to just make sure that we don't get any traction and that they don't talk about us or bring us up or let anyone else talk about us. And it's like, well, if we put our stuff out there in a way where it's a little harder to ignore, that's probably good.
Don't think it. Don't say it.
I want to buy Dave.
Thank
you. I hope you like red. How much do you like red fedoras? Do you agree with hats should be red? Then you'll love Dreamkeepers.
Do you think that fedoras are awesome?
I just really hope it's like not to the point where I have to turn into like some sort of a hot take dispenser. Like, oh, if you really want to sell comics, you better be the next Ben Shapiro of the interwebs, because that's what it takes.
That's just what I signed up for.
I'm selling a comic called Dreamkeepers, and Mr. Feeney crushed my balls in his asshole.
Listen, if you want to own the labs, there's only one thing you got to do, and that's read Dreamkeepers.
I mean, admittedly, that would be a funny ad.
We were talking about it one time, making like a 2D like live thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like a VTuber thing of Ben Shapiro. Or like, you know, it wouldn't be Ben Shapiro. It would be like, I don't know.
Shapiro.
It would be like Len De Niro or something.
Yeah. Brian Chappelle or something. Some like Tim and Eric type like knockoff name of the thing.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Brian Chappelle. Mr. Feeney crushed my balls in his asshole. And then he made me write a report.
We can make little competing ads. Facebook had this thing, because I was trying to learn more about advertising during our Indiegogo, so I'd have better info to give authors when they're like, how do I promote my stuff? And it's like, well, let me tell you, because I just tried a bunch of stuff and I know what works and what doesn't. Facebook has this thing where you can line up an advertising campaign with like 6 different ads or 6 different versions of an ad, and then the AI on Facebook will automatically just like shoot it out there and figure out which one is operating best. So we could set up really dumb ads from 6 different parodies of e-celebs and then see which e-celeb wins in shilling our comics.
That would be fun.
Like, hey, if you think Ben Shapiro has a great personality and you'd love to hang out with him a lot more because he's so cool to listen to, but read this comic.
He doesn't sound like a bug at all.
He doesn't sound like a bug.
That's what his little bug voice is like. This like right-wing Destiny.
That's why he's the funnest. That guy. It's the Destiny. I can't listen.
But you're people like, well, it's a totally stupid idea, right? It's totally retarded.
I would love actually to hear a debate between Destiny and Ben Shapiro, not because I care what either of them think, but just for the sheer sound of it. Can you imagine what that would sound like?
It would sound like it would sound like a bug trying to talk over bug ASMR. That's what that would sound like. I could tell you that right now.
It would sound like a pair of mosquitoes trying to sell you micro machines.
Micro machines.
I'm gonna have nightmares about this.
Oh my god! I wish we could throw up the fucking guy having the fucking PTSD attack from Telegram in the Twitch.
Oh, Camille from.
I'm gonna have nightmares about this.
Yeah. That scene is so upsetting. Just that single frame of animation looks really funny out of context.
Yeah.
Liz says that's pretty good. She's trying to make me do my
IBO, right? I think I remember
that's a Double Zeta from the 80s.
Double Zeta. Okay, yes. I don't remember that. I haven't seen that.
There was original Zeta and then Double Zeta. Camille, the main character from the first one, he's like shell shocked for most of the series, and he's like super fucked in the brain. And that's one of the scenes where he's having like a PTSD meltdown.
Yeah, Worrell, do that shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a little kid. He's like a teenager, and he has to like get real good at killing people. And he's pretty fucked up by the end of Zeta. Good show, but it's not a fun watch, especially by the end. It's like, oh, this is like a real war, and it's not.
It's not a lighthearted romp.
No. Zeta's pretty upsetting.
All the Gundam things are really like dramatic in weird ways like that, except for I guess like G Gundam or whatever the one where
like the shonen fun one, like SD Gundam. Yeah, is obviously silly, but yeah, you watch like Victory Gundam, and you're gonna want to fucking
SD anything. Yeah, like
you watch Victory.
G Gundam's the one.
Kill yourself.
Yeah, holy shit. Have you ever? I can't remember the name. There's this anime where like an old guy who's like he feels like really like fucking separated from his family. He's got like a daughter that's like, you know, he's old enough to be his own daughter's like grandpa, but like he had kids like really late in life. He's like not connected with his family at all. He gets like obliterated by a fucking alien spaceship, and they're just like, hey, put this dude back together. We can't like fuck up this planet's shit. What, say it again? I think that is it.
Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki.
It sounds like Inuyasha, but it ends with Shiki. It's Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki. Okay, yeah, I think that is it. And then there's like another young guy who gets turned into a robot too. Like that is one of the most heart-wrenching fucking things I've ever. It's like trying to explain that to somebody, you sound like a lunatic because it sounds like the stupidest shit. But like it's one of the most like fucking just like every episode of that, you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? Like everything is so intense and dramatic, and like you just cannot believe like the shit that you're fucking seeing.
Huh. I haven't watched it. I just know of it. When you said the premise, I'm like, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, Inuyashiki. I can't never remember that fucking name because that name is like a weird like play on words or something. I think in Japanese. I'm not sure like what it actually kind of like Sekiro is, but.
Inu is dog. Inuyasha was just it literally translated to demon dog.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with like life and death or something. I can't remember exactly what the fuck the word is, but the anime's great. Fucking go watch that shit. I'll do a review of it on my channel once I finally get done with this fucking ReZero video.
I've heard it's good. I've heard good things. We're on the last 2 episodes.
It's terrific.
We're on the last 2 episodes of Eureka 7. I got to finish that show, so. And then I'm going to rewatch all of Venture Brothers because AJ's never seen it, and that's important.
All of Venture Brothers? You're gonna be there for like a week, dude.
There's not a lot. There's 7 seasons.
Yeah, there's a fucking lot of Venture Brothers. What are you talking about?
I thought you were saying like it wouldn't take long.
Well, you watched it all back to back or marathon it all?
No, we only ever watch 2 episodes of a show a day, and it's while we're eating dinner. That's our thing.
Yeah, I've been going through King of the Hill with my wife.
Oh, I love King of the Hill. AJ has watched.
Shit's so fucking good.
Oh, it's from shit. The manga for Inuyashiki is from the guy who did Gantz. AJ loves Gantz, so we could probably get him to watch that.
I've never read Gantz.
Gantz is fucking crazy. It's just super violent.
There's a new Inuyasha anime. Yeah, I know all about that.
Yasha Hime. Oh man.
Can't wait to see all these characters I don't fucking care about. And I don't even like the fucking ones from the fucking original show.
Oh, Rumiko Takahashi.
But if I did, I wouldn't want to fucking see their like. Inuyasha has never been like a generational anime.
Yeah, it was kind of an odd, they're just banking on nostalgia. It's like, hey, remember Adult Swim 20 years ago?
Like the way they do JoJo, it's like set up like that, right? Like everything's supposed to be
it's always
generational. Yeah, like and this is just like, what can we do? They should have just redone the original series. Like people would have probably watched that. Redo the original series, cut all the filler.
Yeah, I mean it's Sunrise. Bam. It's fucking Sunrise. They can afford it.
Yeah.
Sunrise got money, but I don't know. I guess they wanted to be like, no, it's Inuyasha, but it's got a female protagonist now though, so it's progressive. What everybody loves.
I guess, or it's just trying to like waifu people out of money, like, which is when you see like a female protagonist in a Japanese thing, that's typically what is happening.
Well, yeah, they're trying to make some character that gets its emotional hooks in you, and then you're just like, oh my god, I can't stop thinking about it because I'm lonely.
I just don't Rumiko Takahashi to me has never been like a great like writer or creator even. Like
I like her. I like her work generally. She's really bad at ending her stuff. That's the big issue. She comes up with good places. I like her as an illustrator. She has no
her illustrations are fine, yeah. I don't have a big problem with that.
She knows how to she knows how to pitch a good premise. She just doesn't know how to bring it home.
Yeah, like the execution of her shit. To me, I always felt like Rumiko Takahashi would have been better at home writing for like video games.
Yeah,
because
her stuff.
Because every fucking show, it's like, hey guys, let's go look for Naraku. Like, oh wait, here's a side quest. Let's do this. Like fucking a whole season. Yeah. Oh my god. Like just make a fucking video game, bitch. Okay. Like just. It'll be good. I would play an Inuyasha video game before I'd ever watch a fucking anything anime of it. Like it's made for that. It should be that to me.
It seems, big open world to explore, lots of different weird guys to murder. Like it is a video game, but she started doing this stuff in like, the 90s. I mean, video games were around.
That is true,
she's never written for
video games were around.
Yeah, no, I know. It's odd that now that you put it that way, it's odd that she never has been tasked to my knowledge to write video games.
I honestly kind of think like nobody has like told her, because I think it's like a George Lucas thing. Whenever like, oh, I get to work with Rumiko Takahashi. Yes, ma'am, Miss Takahashi-sama, whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, her shit makes money, so, you kind of have to.
Like, yeah. But I don't know, maybe she's, like, friendly, like, maybe if you were working with her and you were just like, hey, dude, have you ever thought about, like, writing for a Inuyasha video game? What do you think about that? I wonder what she'd say.
Someone's saying there were Inuyasha games. I mean, I guess they didn't come out over here, but,
How did they not, like, sell?
Maybe they did in Japan.
Maybe they were really bad. Maybe they were like fighting games or some dumb shit, like the worst fucking possible type of fucking Game Boy Advance. I don't know. What kind of games were they?
Oh, there was a Game Boy Advance game. Feudal Fairy Tale Fighter game. Yeah, I mean, there's been like JoJo's Fighters and stuff, so I get that.
Yeah, those don't look that fun.
Some of them are apparently pretty cool, but...
The whole appeal of JoJo is just like, it's just crazy. It literally is, at the most meta way, a bizarre adventure. Like you're just going through this crazy thing that this nutty Japanese dude wrote that's just entertaining himself.
Yeah.
And you're just along for the ride with him, just experiencing all this. So like, I don't know how the game would be good, especially since like for like at part 3 and on, they just fight with fucking stands.
No, they make like they're like those 3D fighters where you move around the environments and like do shit. It's kind of fun to watch the characters interact, but I'm not a big fighting game guy in general. Just I like exploring.
I'm not really into them because fighting games boil down to just like memorizing combos.
Well, yeah,
and then
it's
executing them at the right time.
Like once you're getting to the point where it's like, oh, you have to memorize which moves have the most iframes and stuff. I'm like, am I having any fun here? Or
yeah, I'll just go do chemistry.
Like at that point, it's like maybe I should have gotten into physics.
Oh man, yeah. There's something weird to me about like wanting to memorize like game physics or something. Like when you get that into something, like I love that game Factorio, but like when you get to a certain point in that game, it turns into Autism the game. Like there's no like point. There's no fun to be had. It's literally just like going and looking up how to get stuff, to get other stuff.
Yeah, like that's always my thing is if I get to a point in a game where the only way I can progress is like I have to go on like a subreddit and listen to like weird nerds talk about it, then I'm not having fun anymore. Because like I think everything should be self-contained. It's not like to read a book I have to go on a subreddit and be like, oh, how do I read this book?
Oh my god, yeah. Nothing takes me out of a game faster than like, god damn, I can't figure out why the fuck this isn't working, and I have to go look on Google. And then like I'm already having to look on Google while I'm playing a game, right? The game's not showing me how it's played. And then the Google thing will say like, oh, well, you wouldn't know this because the game doesn't really explain it.
Yeah.
But ABC.
That's bad.
Okay, great.
And I like difficult games. I like games that encourage you to explore and figure things out, but there's a difference between that and just being frustrated and being like, I can't do anything. What the fuck do I do?
Like I've been playing that Breath of the Wild game every once in a while. The new Zelda one. Well, it's not new now, but it's the newest Zelda one.
AJ's replaying it.
I love that game. Like almost everything about that game you can sort of like put together yourself. Like some of the puzzles are really hard and they're very frustrating, but if you look around, you can look and go, okay, I see this, I see that. Like you can kind of intuit your way through that entire game.
Which is cool. That's good game design.
That's how every game should be. You should never be having to look on a fucking wiki for anything on a fucking game. That's when you failed as a game designer, in my opinion.
I think some games are designed with like, oh, the community aspect in mind, but that has very little, that has no appeal to me. I don't want to interact with a video game community. I just want to play it and then get on with my day.
It should be optional whether or not you do that. Like Dark Souls, the Dark Souls series was kind of like that. Like you can play online or you can play offline. You can talk to people about the game or you can not talk to people about the game. And even offline, like sometimes there are like offline fandoms that will invade you and stuff too. But imagine, if you will, like a Dark Souls or a Sekiro or even like a Breath of the Wild type game or some combination of those, right? Of Inuyasha.
That would work.
I'd play the fuck out of that.
It would work.
Like, I hate that anime. I don't really like Yurumiko Takahashi that much, but I'd play the fuck out of that game. Imagine like
that'd be cool.
Being one of those characters and just going through that world and just fucking beating the shit out of fucking demons, saving villages and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's
that'd be fucking cool as shit.
It's an entirely workable concept.
You got to beat up all Naraku's little shadow clone jutsu dudes. And only after you whoop them all can you actually get to him or something. Or maybe you can go straight for him if you want, but like he's weakened or something. I don't know. Like there's a lot of ways to pull that off, and I think it would be great. I think it was
the Breath of the Wild thing was you could just go straight to the end boss if you wanted to, but apparently it was like pretty tough to do that.
You get your ass kicked too. Yeah. Some of the little mini bosses were tough in that game for me. But like I like that game because like I'll fight a boss and then I'll discover like a weakness and sometimes they'll kill me. I'll go right back and fight him again and I'll exploit that weakness and it'll be like a joke, like how weak they are.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, it's like when you have a heavy bowgun guy on fucking Monster Hunter, and they just keep putting the monster to sleep and paralyzing it and shit.
Yeah, those guys are great. Those guys are the real heroes. They can't move at all.
Oh yeah, Dan's talking about the Metal Gear Solid 5 Mother Base raid things. Those were like an interesting experimental sort of concept, but yeah, like nothing was worse than like coming. Like I would fucking only get to play that like on weekends, right? And on the weekends I would I'd turn it on. Your base got raided.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah, you lost a bunch of shit, people and resources. Like, oh, okay.
And then you turn it on offline mode because you were there for the single player.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could turn it offline.
Oh, okay. Maybe. I remember.
Maybe you could.
Did you ever stupid. Did you ever raid a base that was rigged up for non-lethal?
I think I did, yeah.
It's the most annoying thing in the world because they just keep putting you to sleep and you have to like button mash to get through it and it'll happen like 1,000 times. It's fucking awful. Yeah, I really liked that game, but the online components were a mixed bag, to say the least.
Yeah, I like open roam Metal Gear.
It was pretty cool. You could. That was a game where you could fuck around.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
I love the Fulton thing, shit like that. It's funny.
You could run, you could just slide around in your box. Like you could beat a whole mission on like a sled. You know. It was ridiculous.
I put a dude to sleep and yeeted him into the ocean.
Yeah, it's great. You can do shit like that. Or attach.
You know what I wish somebody would do?
What do you wish somebody would do?
You remember the old Peter Molly meme?
Peter
game?
Molyneux.
Yeah, you remember the fucking Black and White 2?
I was really hoping you'd say Milo, but no, Black and White 2 also.
Milo.
Do you remember Milo?
Game, it was the game that never existed.
It was the little boy you could molest or whatever, and he was like, "Look, you can talk to him."
It's like, buy this game on Xbox One, and you can molest this kid. And everybody was like, "I can't wait to molest this kid." And
then everybody was like, "Wait, what? This is weird." Like,
actually, it's not a game. Never mind. It never was. Like, because apparently, like the demo thing they showed, it was never like. Actually, like that was like pre-recorded.
Oh, okay. I never learned. I just remember it's like, look, you can talk to this little boy, and I'm like, why are they showing me this? Like, this is weird.
Yeah, you know, it would have been a lot less weird if it was like a cartoon character or a little alien guy or something. But they made it like because these people have no fucking idea. They're like aliens from another planet. They have no idea what people actually want to fucking play and interact with.
No, people want to interact with little realistic boys.
A 7-year-old boy is not. No one fucking wants. You don't want the audience who wants that game. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fucking go out on a limb here and explain to you that that's not what you want.
The people who are really excited for that, not good.
Yeah, make it a little. I don't know, something else.
They made Nintendo instead. That's what
make
people
a little
wanted.
Muppet character or something like that, and Nintendo something. Yeah, make a little puppy dog or something. Like everybody loves dogs, I guess. So
not a realistic child. Nope.
Yeah, not a kid, dude. Not a fucking human child. That's so weird. But Black and White 2.
Yes.
There has not been that game is not perfect. Okay, like I will be the first person to admit that. But there's not been a God game since that game where you can pick up people and just fling them across the map.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And yeah, like you had so much freedom with that game.
You could do so much.
And I want a game like that. And nobody's making anything like that anymore.
Yeah, it was not the most perfectly made game, but like all the God stuff was really fun. And yeah, you could just fuck around.
I wish that there was some kind of like a remake of that, even if they just like, you know, updated it for like modern systems or something. I'd rebuy that.
Yeah, me and my brother bought that like the day it came out.
We're talking about Hero Potential?
Yeah, that too.
What did they say?
Oh, Hazem, you the Comics Gate game, Hero Potential.
Is that what they called that?
Yeah, Hero. Did that not come across clear in the ad that made you want to buy
Hero Potential? Yeah. No, I just I saw like a couple seconds of that, and I don't want to I don't know what these guys' comics are like because it's like impossible to get them unless you give them your home address. But like, I don't want to shit too bad on like the comics. I'll go ahead and say this, and they can never allow me in Comicsgate or whatever if they want. I don't think that I will ever spend my precious time on Earth reading anything called Cyber Frog. I just don't think this is for me. A lot of other people disagree with me, and they say it's great, and they've read it, and that's fine. Maybe it's great, and I'm retarded. I don't know, but I saw this ad for the game. I think maybe you guys posted it somewhere, or I saw it somewhere else before that too. But like, I saw this, and it was like, okay, this is like the basic like Unreal Engine Fortnite type of thing, and it's slow. It looks like everybody's moving through molasses. I don't know if it's like an early access build.
The game's aesthetic looked like molasses, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like slower Destiny 2 third person.
Yeah.
With not good looking textures, and like I don't know, maybe it was like an early access thing that they just did for like a trailer.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was
like what I was telling
footage, but it did not look good.
Yeah, it's like what I was telling Dave. Like the trailer for the Dreamkeepers game, when it first came out, it was like dropping frames because I think he recorded like himself playing it on his laptop, and I was like, "Ooh, Dave, we can't have it dropping frames in our trailer." And so I like recorded it on my computer, and it looks better.
I did not know that. That's funny.
I didn't notice any frame drops in the Comics game, but it's like a love letter to their fans, I guess. I don't know. I looked at it, man. It was like there's some frog guy and then some other people. I don't know. I don't care about any of the characters. I'm not like invested in this, so I guess like it's not fair for me to really like say whether it's good or not. But it didn't look interesting. And it also objectively did not look really well put together. And I don't know if it's like an early build. So
I think
that could change over time.
They said it's an early build in the trailer. So
okay, well maybe it'll be better. Maybe they'll up the speed of it and stuff, and it'll look more interesting. I'd play a Cyberfrog game.
Sure.
If you're like a cybernetic frog guy hopping around like Hulk Ultimate Destruction or Spider-Man or something, free roam city game, yeah, that might be fun. I don't know.
There you go. Well, AJ did some research on Cyberfrog, and apparently it's a character that has been around for a while that Van Sciver worked on like back in the 90s in order to break into DC Comics, and then he like brought him back for this. So.
That's like, yeah, somebody was telling me it's like some original creation of his from like years ago, and I don't know, man. I'm not a big comics guy, but I've never heard anybody talk about that or like want more of it.
Like I said, it was a minor thing he used to get into DC, and then he worked on Green Lantern, and that kind of took over because that's like a big property.
That's gonna sell more. Obviously, it has like a built-in audience. Like I've heard more about like like Miracle Man and shit like that.
Sure.
From the fucking like what 70s, 80s. That like I've heard more about shit like that than I have ever. The first I ever heard of Cyberfrog or this guy was like.
It's first I'd heard of it, but
Comicsgate. Yeah.
It was an indie thing, so. And that's what a lot of these guys do.
Well, if it got him the job, fuck it. Like it got him the job.
No, that happens a lot. As guys will just work on indie stuff and then get picked up, and it's like, okay, now I work on the big properties. Happens all the time.
Yeah, I think like Mark Millar. It might have been Mark Millar or Brian Michael Bendis worked on Sonic for Archie for a while before he got to Marvel.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I think it's Mark Millar. Don't quote me.
It's a weird choice. He wrote some pretty edgy stuff, but then again, maybe he wrote the Shadow the Hedgehog comics.
Well, it's got to be better than Pender's run.
Oh, how dare you! Laura Sue Chronicles coming soon.
Yeah, Google that if you want to not sleep tonight.
Yeah, it looks like a nightmare. I'm gonna grab another beer.
It literally does.
Try to find an angle on video games that Dave can talk about. Good luck.
I can talk about video games with the best of them. I don't know what
know video game.
I've played them before.
I'm something of a video game expert myself.
I could be. You ever heard of Wizard? On the Commodore 64?
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Right? I know of it. I've never had a Commodore 64.
Well, it had Wizard. Pitfall. Pitfall was another game there.
Pitfall was good. I like that. I played that on Windows 95.
I couldn't get past the first level, so I'm going to have to disagree with that assessment.
It was really hard. Like there's like one jump at the very fucking beginning, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you do this? And I remember like somehow making it across that jump.
Yeah, my solution was to play Wizard instead.
What was that like? I never played that.
It was kind of cool. You had to run around on this level, kind of Donkey Kong style, except instead of trying to get to the top where the barrels are, there's a little door, and then somewhere else on the map there's a little key. So you got to get the key, and then you can go out through the door. You beat the level. But there's critters running around and traps and all kinds of things, and also there's falling damage. So if you jump and you're in the air for too long, you go.
Oh, like Action 52.
Yeah, so you'll die in midair if you've been jumping for too long.
Whoops, dying in midair.
Yeah.
If you've never seen that AVGN episode for Action 52,
I have not.
It's a banger. I highly recommend.
Dying in midair.
But I remember like one of the first like really fun games. I still cannot remember what the fuck this game was called. It was like a Windows 95 game. Probably would have ran on like Commodore too. I don't know, but you were like a spaceship, and you could upgrade your spaceship by like your little home planet. Like it would sometimes give you upgrades if you landed on like a little colony thing, a little satellite colony. But you would go around, and there's like 6 or 7 other little spaceships, and you're all like trying to land on planets and like colonize them.
I don't think I ever had that one, but I had
and all of it's like polygons. All of it's like wireframe, like on a black background. Just like lines. Everything's made of just lines. Like the planets were just big green circles with a square in the middle.
I had Digger on an old Windows PC once. I don't know if that's a well-known game at all.
Digger. Is that like Dig Dug?
I don't think so. It was kind of like Pac-Man, except for instead of having a level that you built, it starts out where the level's basically just all solid dirt, but there's maybe some pockets or rooms or tunnels. But you go and you can dig through, and like you dig through the dirt and make new tunnels. So it's sort of like there's like little puzzles where you have to try to get through this point to that point without like breaching the room where the enemies will come out and start to follow you around on the map in the tunnels you make.
Huh. I've never heard of that.
I don't know if anyone has. Aside from me remembering it, I've never heard it mentioned anywhere.
I remember that, and there was like the weird like games you would get with like cereal and shit. Do you remember those?
No, I don't think I got any cereal games.
There was one that was like a Captain Crunch game where you raised a crunchling. It was like a little goblin character, and you'd raise him to like be in the Crunchling Olympics or some shit. You know, everything's like athletic. Captain Crunch, athletic. Like
Crunchlings. I remember the Soggies. What were the Crunchlings?
They were just like little fucking stupid little Muppet goblin things. They never caught on. I think they were trying to use them to like. Kids will like these. They like the honeycomb little beast things, right? But no one liked them. They were just stupid, and like the game was just like dropping like lava rocks on their head to like toughen them up or something. And I remember the game was just terrible. But like I went. It was like one of the first games I figured out. Like, oh, I can like change files. I can do stuff with this game. Like this is my first mod that I ever made for a video game, right? I went in, I took all the sound files, and I raised them all up like by like 300% speed.
What is this game?
It was like a Captain Crunch game that came in a box of Captain Crunch.
Nice.
Yeah, and I just like it was called like Crunchling Adventure or something. So like I pushed all the sound things like 300%, and like I discovered that like when you just dropped them back in with the same file names and stuff, that like the game wouldn't know the difference, so it would just like play the music like at 100,000 miles an hour, and like Captain Crunch would come in, and it would be like a whole like minute of dialogue he was supposed to say to you, and they're like, "Oh, your Crunchling's about to grow," and then fucking like he would come in and just go. And then just no sound would be coming out. And he would just be waving his hands like he's talking like fucking Sonic 06 for like 55 seconds. And then just I remember like that was one of the first like things I did with the game, that I just sat there and just like laughed till I could not breathe. And then there was like a area where you would like skateboard with the Crunchling thing or something. You would skateboard with it, but it was called like Backwardia or something. Everything was backwards, so I reversed all the sound files and so everything was like a back mask thing from a fucking Led Zeppelin album.
Have you seen those videos of people playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, but with like 600% facial animations? They're like really fucked up looking.
Oh my god! Yeah, their faces will just be like, yeah, like their fucking cheeks will be like up over their eyes and shit. Yeah.
My husband showed me that, and I thought I was gonna stop breathing. Like, it was so funny. Then they did it with the LA Noire remake as well, which I played LA Noire, which is like a well-crafted cinematic game, and then to see all these cutscenes just get like fucking
just
raped.
Fucked up.
Like,
yeah. Just like ass reamingly fucked up. Yeah.
It's like watching television from the wrong dimension or something. It's so fucked. Like,
I heard that's the technique they used when they were making Mass Effect 3, incidentally.
Oh my god.
You mean Andromeda?
Yeah, Andromeda. I showed Dave the Corbin Crow video where it's just like all the glitches compiled together. Thought we were both gonna like collapse into ourselves.
Dude, the Andromeda memes were fucking top tier.
They were. That game sucked ass, but man, the memes were great.
Yeah, I never played the game, but I remember like they like would do all these things where they would like turn the fucking the Asari girl green.
To make her look like Shrek because she was so weird.
Yeah, they play like weird like remix versions of fucking All Star.
I haven't seen that, but it's really good.
One of them had like for like 3 seconds, like a YouTube poop or some shit. It had like 3 seconds of like the version where it's all in like it's all like the C. No, like they've tuned all the vocals to like C. So like the music plays normally, but it's like bit crushed and fucking deep fried. And you just hear, somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I don't know why, like, the juxtaposition of shit like that makes me laugh so fucking hard.
I gotta put my drink down. I was gonna drop it. I was laughing so much. Just hearing a description of this dumb meme.
Oh, man. Describing this shit, you sound like a fucking, like some idiot that just, like,
sound like you need to be
wipes his shit on the walls or something, but... like to experience it, it's just fucking funny. Like I tell people a lot that some of the funniest YouTube poops I've ever seen are the ones that were made by like people who are using like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic shit. And you tell people that and they're just like,
what's wrong
with you? That sounds dumb. But then like you watch them and it's got like Dane Cook in it randomly and shit. Like just like the weirdest shit. Like, why is this here? Because there's like one where the fucking teacher's like, you can all see Dane Cook, can't you? And he's like on the like chalkboard, and it's like a still like gif of him with the microphone, and he goes, "God bless you," and then she goes, "Thank you."
No, that's exactly the kind of thing I would find funny. So
yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, why are these things together at all ever?
It's because weed is very available. Because that's like the kind of thing you come up with when you're high and you're like, this is so funny. And then like only half of it is, but the half that is pretty great.
Yeah.
No, I write that shit down all the time when I'm smoking, and then I look at it later. I'm like, all right, that one's still funny. That's dumb, but this is half gold.
God, man, the YouTube poop in its heyday was like
Dude,
insane.
I was really into the Zelda CDI ones. I could watch those for hours.
All the fucking CDI ones were great, like the Hotel Mario ones and stuff.
Yeah, those would commonly merge, yes.
Yeah. And then they had I don't know if you ever were on YouTube, but they had like the War on AIDS for that little bit. Yeah, there's like people were so fucking tired of like the CDI poops and stuff that they were just like, this is AIDS and we need to stop. We need people to stop using these as sources. And like, yeah, like people just would like the guy who used to do YouTube poop news, Stuart Riley. I still follow him on
I didn't even know that was
Twitter. And he had like a news show where he would just talk about like new poops that were coming out and like weird shit people would use for sources and stuff. Like a lot of people would listen to it and they'd be like, oh, fuck this guy. He's just fucking talking about like he's like a YouTube poop hipster guy or something. I'm just like, no, dude, he's just like seeing dumb shit and being like talking about it. And sometimes he would like criticize people really harshly because they would just do like screen flip shit.
He's the Anthony Fantano
like,
of YouTube poops.
Yeah, kind of, but entertaining and funny. Sure. Like I don't like anybody who would watch that and take that seriously is just crazy.
Sure,
but
you're already watching something called like Cousin. You just said new poops that are coming out. Like that was a sentence.
Yeah, new poops that are coming out. There you go.
My new poops
That's already funny enough.
Right into my toilet.
Durham Rocker Z was fucking great too. I remember there was one King of the Hill poop he did that was just like a fucking riot, dude. I can't remember which one it was.
Does Dave have any?
I think it was the one where he went in like the propane. He went into Strickland and the guy was like talking about the room or something, and they sentence mixed it together.
Does Dave have any idea what we're talking about?
I think Dave's checked out, dude. He's not even at his desk. He said he's gonna make tea or some shit.
Like, I can't listen to these retards talk about this shit.
Durham Rocker Z was great. I liked a lot of Stewart's his own poops that he made. There was one called "Where Do YouTube Poop Characters Go When They Die?"
Where do they go?
And it was like he used like a lot of game footage in his, so he had like stuff mixed with like Silent Hill and that like Mario's Game Gallery game.
Or like Mario. No, I don't know. Mario Game Gallery. What's that?
Yeah, it was like a game. I think it was on Windows or Commodore or something. It wasn't like on a Nintendo system, but it was like a thing where you could play like checkers, Go Fish, like I think poker. Like you could play a bunch of different like little like card and board games with Mario.
Okay, so you seem to know about a lot of this weird, obscure PC internet shit. Do you know about, I don't meet a lot of people who know what this is, but maybe you do. Do you know about Spider-Man Movie Maker? You actually know what it is. Oh my god.
God, that shit so fucking, who the fuck even knows what that is when they even see it, dude?
You could make the weirdest shit with that game. It was all funny. None of it was good, but it was all funny.
Yeah, I saw that Emperor Lemon video, Brutus Dandy. That some of those guys, they were like, they I don't think they took themselves as seriously as they presented, but they took like YouTube poop and like that community weirdly seriously, and they would like shun people out of shit if they like the War on AIDS thing.
Okay. Huh.
Like this guy is still using Zelda CDI as a source. Fuck him. We're not like, I hate him. Like they would end friendships over shit like that. It was weird. It was weird being on YouTube in those days, just as an observer and like watching all that shit go down.
To see people get very angry about overusage of bad Russian animation.
Yeah, I mean it does get like really repetitive, but like it's at the same time it's just like, dude, it'll fizzle out eventually. Just let people have let these 14-year-olds with Windows Movie Maker have their fun.
Did you guys have the program Movie Maker 3D?
No, I don't know.
Does that come with Windows 10?
No, this is way back in the day when I was a kid. It was something where it had a bunch of preset modeled characters and settings, and you could like import your own sounds into it, and it had preset animations that the characters could do. It was really blocky, but you could actually do some creative stuff and put them in these little scenarios and have like spooky music and a skeleton character, and so it was kind of fun.
Is that what, like, on your YouTube channel you have some 3D? Those are like Maya things though from that lighting. I don't know. I don't know if anybody even remembers Maya, but
I do.
I remember Maya. Is Maya still in use, or did that just cease to exist?
I don't. Everybody I know uses either Blender or like 5D Cinema or something. Well, Zebra's just like for modeling stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, like we learned Maya in college, but now that I'm in the world where it's like, oh, software is not free, Blender it is.
Blender, yeah.
Blender is free, and it's also apparently one of the best ones.
Yeah, no, it's really good. That's what I did the Vivid logo in.
Blender has some kind of like 2D animation shit now too.
Oh, cool.
I was looking into that. I'm also thinking, I almost wonder if it would be good for compositing. If it could be jury-rigged to do that, potentially.
3ds Max. Yeah, a lot of people use 3ds Max. The guy I was working with on a game, he needed all the shit for 3ds Max.
Well, I know 3D Max was big for a while, but then it kind of went away. Is 3ds Max like the sequel?
I don't know. I thought they were the same thing.
I didn't realize how much turnover these programs had.
Has anybody ever used iClone before?
I don't know what that is at all.
Nope.
It's like a 3D animation program. It's like okay, but I don't know. When I was doing a little bit of game design stuff for a while, and like to make characters, I was using the iClone thing, and it was like okay, but I could tell because the guy was like always like, yeah, export this for like use in 3ds Max. I could tell like, oh, okay, so like to really do stuff you really need done, you're gonna have to get like a better program than this.
Yeah, there's like a cost of entry into a lot of these fields, I guess, you know. And it used to be a lot cheaper.
Yep, and you can get some of that shit for like not a whole lot now, but it's all like weird like subscription plans and stuff that they want you to do.
Yeah.
Well, they make more money on that.
Yeah,
they do.
I remember using like Photoshop and shit when I was like trying to like pay a subscription for that, and I remember like shit like I would just not be able to create a new layer. Like, whoa, why the fuck can't I create a new layer? And then you go look it up and it's like, oh, it's because it put it into like interpolated color mode. Well, why the fuck did it do that? Who knows? Photoshop tests us some days. Haha, LOL.
Oh, that's weird, huh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I love paying for a product that tests me in the middle of a fucking project.
Sorry, chat's saying my voice apparently got super quiet again. I'm adjusting a few things. Hopefully that'll help.
What are you using for sound? You're just using like a mic and no like digital anything?
I just use a headset mic, the one I've always used.
I don't know then.
I have no idea. Hopefully it'll catch up and people will say, oh my god, it miraculously fixed itself. That'd be great.
I was going to say like maybe you should turn your compression up or something. Maybe you're getting far away from your mic, but if it's on your head.
Yeah, it's...
How would you be escaping it? Yeah.
Yeah, right. We'll see. I don't know. I adjusted it. We'll see what chat says, if they say anything. No change. Oh, awesome. How?
Oh, apparently somebody followed me 20 minutes ago, and I don't know. It didn't pop up with fucking anything. What the fuck is that about?
Stealth follower. Too late. You've been followed.
Two people. Yeah. Thank you guys for following me. Fuck, I can't. I don't know. My alert box isn't popping up. I don't know why that is. That's crazy.
All right. Well, I turned down Hazen and Dave by like 50%, so that better cause a change. Otherwise, I don't know what the fuck to do. Wait. Wait, are they not exporting at all now?
Bo, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, okay, you guys are there.
What about now? Hear me now?
I just don't know why it would change midstream. Like, why would that happen?
To figure out.
Okay, yeah.
There's no problem that can't be made worse. Remember that.
Oh, thank you. Log into Twitch to leave comments. I'll do it over where I am logged in. Thank you.
Oh, if it's
well,
really
what's
testing
annoying
you-
is everybody will comment when it's bad, and then when you're like, "Hey, is it fixed?" No one will say anything, and you're like, "Well, I can't really know."
Yep. The real fun comes when you're like, oh, I gotta log into Twitch to look at comments. Then you're like, okay, fine, I thought I was logged in. And then you go to log in and it's like, two-factor authentication, go find your phone.
Yeah. Because I put my phone in another room usually, and because I don't want to be checking it constantly. People said I was quiet, and response was, Riley forgot to flush. Okay, well, helpful. Hang on, oh, God. I have no idea if I fixed this problem at all. And if I try to check it myself, then it picks up the desktop audio and creates an echo effect. Bone, you seem to be better. Okay, cool. That's good. I don't know why it changed. I don't fuck with the settings. Because if you fuck with the settings, shit like this really happens.
Got to get it set up perfect once and then never touch it again.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. Now it says you're fine. Oh, okay, cool.
You can usually pretty much get that set up that way with Streamlabs. I just had to refresh my CLR browser alert box plugin thing, but it works now. It wasn't working a few minutes ago.
Okay. Huh. Oh, and I did get the thing worked out with the guy who was supposed to be the commission for tonight, but we're already halfway in. I don't want to just start like a sketch and get nowhere. I usually like to sketch them beforehand because it's a little hard for me to do a decent sketch while talking live. I'd rather, give it the time it needs.
Yeah.
But he's all his money. He's sending me his refs, so that's all good. Made some money, Whoops. But
nice. But yeah, I've noticed the same thing. It's really difficult to like keep up with the chat and stream when I'm doing blue line sketches.
Yeah.
Once that's laid in, it's like okay, I can draw and sort of look at what's going on.
I can ink, I can paint, but man, it's really hard for me to just draw. I definitely could not do like comic page layouts. I think I'd be like, no, that's impossible.
Oh yeah, thumbnails. I can't stream and do thumbnails. It's just got to be total focus.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, this has to be the really, really clear part. This is our foundation of everything else that goes on top.
Yep. It's like the earlier in the process, the more focus and concentration it takes to develop stuff because you have less to work with. You have less to base off of. Like when you're scripting, it's like literally nothing. You have to make every...
Yeah, be like, can you imagine trying to like script and stream? That'd be a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, there's no way that would work. Like whenever I'm trying to script, I have to have it so concentrating and quiet. Like I can't have any distractions at all, or I'll just be like, I can't do this. Oh.
I will put on music quietly, but it has to have no words. But I like to have music that is like the feel of how I want the scene to be, and that's usually how I do. Okay, so you do that too.
The old Ludwig van.
Yeah, you got like if it's got words in it, it's like it's like too many words. I can't write and listen to words. It's weird.
What the fuck?
I don't know what
just happened to Dave.
I'm singing a song with words. Is it hard to script?
It sure is.
It cut you out.
Yeah, like cut out in the middle of it, so it just sounded like you had a stroke.
I thought you were having a fucking stroke.
Yeah.
No, I'm performing music. This is people getting paid millions of dollars for this, Hazen. I'm doing it for free.
Not
so
us.
Show a little respect.
What a guy. He does it for free.
I don't know how you.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but it's a pretty good start.
I don't know how you do writing, Dave, but when I write for comics, I do thumbnails at the same time. So.
Oh, that's it. Usually I don't do that. I just go raw script, and me and Liz go through like draft after draft of the script, let it cool off for a while, and then I don't even get into thumbnails until like way later in the process. So at that point, I'm looking at the script and I'm like, okay, how many pages does this break down into? And so it's a separate process for me.
Okay, I got the idea. It's actually how they do manga. Is the author has to do thumbnails.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like a thing they do over there. They call it a name, is what they call the thumbnails. And I saw that process and was like, oh, I like that. I can think visually and with words at the same time. So that's how I do it. But
that's how I usually have like a visual in my head when I write scripts. But I've never really drawn comics, so I don't do a lot of the art.
Well, don't worry. Yeah.
But I know what you mean, like visualizing shit.
Yeah, it's just how I write, and when I was in school, they made us do like script format, which is basically the same as like screenwriting format, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I was more, I found out about how they did manga, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to try that, and it just sort of stuck, and I've done it ever since.
Sounds like a good system.
It seems to work for me. I'm always worried. It's like, no, that's the wrong way, and we'll always create inferior work. And I'm like, no, stop that. As long as the pages end up good.
Yeah, I don't think there even is a wrong way. If you get good results, then you get good results.
I mean, yeah, if it's not working, you got to switch it up. But as long as the pages are coming out good and people are enjoying them.
As long as the result's good, yeah, it doesn't. I'd say the method doesn't matter too much as long as you're not stealing art or whatever, and as long as you're not like inconveniencing the fuck out of other people the way like Alan Moore would do for a long time.
Oh my God! Like watching. Have you ever read Alan Moore scripts?
Block of fucking text,
yeah,
like fucking.
They're insane.
It's like it's like someone wrote a like a fucking manual for a machine on a typewriter.
What?
Here's my script.
They're huge.
What is Alan Moore was just making verbose scripts, or what was the story there?
There's like no separation of anything. It's just like a big wall of fucking text.
He'll still do like page 1, panel 1, but they will be super lengthy descriptions, and like at random he'll just kind of like write a whole essay about like a vaguely related topic. And then get back to it, because like my favorite example, because it's the easiest one to look up, is you can look for the Killing Joke script, and it says page 1, panel 1, and then it starts, and it's like this whole essay that's like a few pages long, addressed to the artist, and then it suddenly goes page 1, panel 1 again, and then it's like the actual description of what he wants him to draw. And that's still that description's still long, but it's that opening essay where you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, who cares? It's very strange, and yeah, he is a notoriously difficult writer to work with, but it pays well, so people do it, and his stuff usually gets adapted, and he gives all of his money from those adaptations to the artists, so because he hates the adaptations, because he's crazy.
Yeah. Like how he wanted nothing to do with the Watchmen movie, and the Watchmen movie was just like, okay.
Yeah, he watched like part of 300 and was like, this movie's racist. And then he's like, I'll have nothing to do with Zack Snyder. I was like, okay.
How is it racist?
That's what he said. He thought that 300 was racist, so he didn't want to have anything to do with Zack Snyder, because he's an old cranky coot. I love him.
That seems like a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, that's kind of what he does. Well, Alan Moore takes himself very seriously, but then it's like, dude, you wrote the fucking Violator, okay? Calm down. Like, you wrote Spawn comics. Like, chill the fuck out.
He wrote for Miracle Man too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Him and Neil Gaiman both.
Yes.
Wrote for that.
Actually, we pulled up. We had some Miracle Man with Alan Moore ads that we found in some of the Gut Rot comics we were reading. They're like, hey,
I remember the Miracle Man run he did was like, this weird, like, dark, like everything was explained kind of thing. Like, how can this guy turn into Miracle Man? Oh, because like there's another body he can inhabit that's like in a pocket dimension, and this like device helps him transfer his soul over to this fucking weird body.
That sounds
awesome.
What? Why is this in this? This is literally superhero.
Well, have I told you about the issue of Spawn that he wrote?
I didn't even know he wrote for Spawn.
Yeah, he wrote an issue, and it's a character that Spawn kills early on, who's I think his name is Billy Kincaid, and he's an ice cream man who's a pedophile, and Spawn murders him by shoving popsicle sticks down his throat. And the entire issue, Spawn's almost not in it at all. It's just this pedophile walking through like all the rings of hell. That's what Alan Moore wrote for Spawn.
Yeah, I'm sure that went great with that audience.
I mean, it's like well written and it's interesting, but it's like you're just like, what is this? And then it's like next issue
Where's Spawn?
Next issue it's back to normal, and it's like Spawn has big guns and shoots the demons, and you're like, what's that thing with the pedophile in hell? What?
What happened there?
Yeah, it was very strange.
I remember he wrote like a run for Swamp Thing that like apparently I never read it.
It's very long, but it's very good.
I heard it was very long, but it actually like provided explanations for like all the weird like self-conflicting shit in the DC universe. Like somehow from the one book he wrote like shit that explained how there could be like Superman but also Superboy in the same world, and how how all these things could exist. I don't know how he did it. Maybe it just was shit, but I remember like once he left Swamp Thing, like they just had like a little universe reset thing for DC. They were just like, what is that? What about Swamp Thing? All that shit. No, it's just a dream, dude. Some weird dream he had. He's smoking too much peace pipe.
I've got the first Swamp Thing volume by Alan Moore, but there are a lot of volumes of this. He used to be very prolific. He wrote a lot, and now he writes very, very little. 'Cause he's a million, billion years old.
He had some kind of Necronomicon thing come out or something.
The last thing I remember was he had a very long...
Not that many years ago.
The last thing I remember was a few years ago he had a prose book called Jericho come out, but that was like a book.
I don't want to read prose by that motherfucker.
It's a 60-hour long book on Audible. Go for it.
Oh.
Did Alan Moore confuse Spawn with Sandman because they both start with the same letter? I mean,
that does sound like some shit that'd be in Sandman.
Well, Neil Gaiman also wrote for Spawn, so because you know
and
why?
Then he married Amanda Palmer.
Because, but didn't they get divorced?
I don't know.
I think they got divorced.
I don't really follow their marriage or anything.
She's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
No, but everybody wrote for Spawn because Todd McFarlane had all the money in the world at the time. Who cares about the quantum mechanics? I care, dude. Reading like Grant Morrison shit is fun because he gets like way into that really weird shit. Now, granted, you can also have simpler comics, but I like a variety in my superhero comics because otherwise they get a little repetitive.
Yeah, I like for like a variety to exist, but like there's a thing, there's like a point where things get like critical mass as far as like, okay, I don't need every last fucking thing explained.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. Otherwise, you get David Foster Wallace syndrome, where you're literally typing it. No, if you read a David Foster Wallace book, he'll like include notes from like vacuum cleaner manuals and stuff. It's crazy, and it'll be accurate.
Like the thing that irritated me the most about trying to read Watchmen was everybody I talked to was like, what do you mean you didn't read the news articles and stuff?
Oh, that's a big thing. Do you read the essays
what
or not?
What the fuck? Like, yeah.
You don't have to.
Life is too short. I just want to read the Watchmen.
No, you don't have to. I like them. I like the articles. I think they're cool. But what I like is that you can still enjoy the comic without reading those.
I still enjoyed the fuck out of the comic. I didn't read that, and I skipped over that gay pirate ship shit, like, too.
Oh,
the
Black Freighter. The Black Freighter.
Yeah. Fuck it. Who cares? Who fucking cares about? I want to read glowing space guy with his dong out and fucking weird guy with a mask. Like, I want to know who watches The Watchmen.
And once again, though, that's what's cool about it is that it works even if you skip all that shit. I read it all.
They did that.
I read it all, obviously, you know, because I'm Mr. Comic Reviewer. Comics are literature shit, but like a good book, you can, especially if they're including that stuff where it's like, ooh, I'm trying to make comic literature, and it's like, well, not everybody wants to read literaure. Most people are tired.
Most people are
tired.
Comics can absolutely be literature. Sure.
Yeah, he's doing very like comic lit stuff where it's like, okay, I get you.
He's doing English school bullshit.
Yes, that's why I put it the way I did.
Yeah. I'm very glad that it's optional to read that shit or not. Like, cause I remember one guy, man, I used to be friends with. He would tell me about like, how could you miss so much when you skip that? Like, well, then they should have included it in something I wanted to read, shouldn't they? And then like,
no, that's a fair
would get
point.
mad. He said like the kid who's like selling the comic book or whatever, like on the street, like when you see the scenes with him, you see all the other people like walking past.
It adds layers to it.
It's like they're lining up to die, dude. And I'm just like, I don't care.
And that's fine. No, and I would say read them.
Interesting.
Like, no, I would say read. I thought it was interesting. But that it works without that stuff is neat. And I think even the fact that people talk about it, and it's like everybody I know, they always ask, well, did you read the extra stuff? And everybody's answer is different. Even Billy in the chat, he said, well, I skipped them, but then Kit told me to read them. Now I'm reading them, and I like them. And I'm like, that's neat. That's neat to me. My girlfriend in college, she wouldn't read those parts. And then she was like, but I feel like I should, but it's too hard. And so I tried to read them out loud to her, and she's like, no, it's too boring. I can't do it. She was like, all right.
I hate them. Yeah, I hate that shit. I just...
That's fine. That's fine. It's cool that you enjoyed the book.
It's there for people who want to read it, sure. But, like, I'm glad they didn't include any of that shit in the movie because, like, going through a movie, it's not optional. It's like, I was talking about this on the My Hero Academia review I did, where, like, when you're reading something, especially something that has like a visual element to it, like a manga or a comic, when you see something that like is going on, you can skip over a picture once you kind of have the gist of what you're looking at, right? But like in an animation, you can't do that. You're forced to be along for however long they want to drag something out.
Yeah, true.
So if they made like a big splash page with all this shit going on, you can look at that and you go like, I'm not really interested in this big fight. I know that there's a big fight going on though. Oh. You just go to the next page. Can't do that with a movie.
It's too hard to read. Did your girlfriend know that books without pictures exist? Dude, have you had a girlfriend? They don't like reading. That's hard. That's hard for girls. Hey.
I've noticed women read a lot more than men.
Not in art school, they don't.
Maybe that's just well, maybe not in art school. But like not maybe not in our generation either. Like my parents' generation, I noticed women reading books a lot more than men. But I also noticed
my mom reads more than my dad.
Yeah, like the books they read, at least in my experience, are all like, you know, Christian self-help, chicken soup for the fucking
chicken soup for the
soul or whatever
baby.
Crap. Yeah, like those little like Hallmark Channel type books, like they read the fuck out of those.
Do you read that? Are those your favorites?
Me?
Yeah. Are you like really into chicken soup for the soul? I can't even get that out.
I love the Hallmark Channel, dude. I love like Z-list actors fucking like acting out some story where it's like, I don't know. I'm just a billionaire investor, and this camera lady, I just can't get her out of my head. I guess we're gonna fall in love.
Thank you.
Has two kids.
Man, I'm getting a lot of new. Dude, I'm getting a lot of new followers
on Twitch. Thank you, The Real Runison, for following me on Twitch.
Oh, he got me too. No. Okay, he got both of us.
Yeah.
Thanks,
hey, all right.
And I got Mick Taru. Dude, this multi-stream thing. Yeah, you get a lot more subscribers. Holy shit.
I got Michiru. Michiru Plush followed me.
Nice.
Now let's punish them and talk more about Hallmark.
No, let's talk more about long, dry comics analysis.
Every time I go to old people's houses, man, like my parents or like my girlfriend's parents, they've got some stupid shit like that on fucking TV. It never fails. Some Hallmark Channel crap. It's got that awful like fucking like free VST fucking orchestra music
Is that a thing?
in the background.
Oh,
It's not like staccato strings that are just like silly sounding. Boom, 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 boom. Like fucking. It all looks like a fucking like 90s Walmart commercial.
Yeah, that's true. What's great is all my grandparents are dead, so I don't hear any of that shit.
It's not even my grandparents, it's my parents, dude, that are watching this shit.
I go to my parents' house and they watch like the worst. Like they still watch sitcoms, not like old ones, like new sitcoms, and they're awful. Yeah.
Like I didn't know they were still
Bang Bang Theory.
No, that's Big Bang Theory's over. There's new sitcoms coming out, and they're dreadful.
And people watch them?
My parents do.
Why?
What's the one about like the fat people?
Oh, Meg and Molly. No, I almost said Meg and Mog.
Meg and Molly or something.
No,
Mike and Molly.
Mike and Molly. Yeah. They
Yeah,
watch that. They
it's
watch
literally
that.
Just like, I'm fat and I farted. I'm fat and I farted.
It's the worst.
Like that's just like the show for 30 fucking minutes.
My
Just
dad
fat
used-
people on
my
your
dad
screen
used to
that
watch-
no one wants to see.
I don't know why. My dad used to watch Two Broke Girls. I'm like, Dad, you're better than this.
Mike and Mog. Somebody said in chat.
Mike and Mog. Well, no, there is a comic called Meg and Mog, which is also a children's book. It's confusing, but yeah, Meg and Mog is a very inappropriate comic that's hilarious.
It's weird to me to think that there's people out there that have so much luxury time they can just sit and watch television, but they have all this luxury time, yet they're not going to like take a little bit to be like, hey, what's a really thing? What's something that's worth my time that's actually entertaining? But they're just like, nope, I'm going to fill my life with the absolute dregs of content production as brought to me by the dying cable company.
Yeah, you know what that is, right? Like our parents, they were born in a time where like how many TVs you have in your house. Like Sam Hyde was talking about this, I think.
That was a big
deal. How many TVs you have in your house represents like how well off you are.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
That kind of shit. So like they will have TVs on in their house 24/7 until they fucking
I
die.
noticed that. They just keep it on. My grandparents did it too. They just always, like, we'd have dinner and I'd be like, why don't they turn the TV off? They're just it was just always on.
Because they're conditioned to fucking like have that thing on all the time. Like that's like having the radio on in the fucking 60s and 70s and shit, dude.
It's their generation's version of a mobile phone.
I guess so. It's
Kinda,
very
yeah, or a
strange.
computer. But like the thing is with phones and computers, you interact with those. You don't do that with TV. So those have it on like while they cook. They're not even fucking watching it. They don't know what's on it. Like they just leave that shit on.
Yeah. Chat
No wonder
has
they're so easily brainwashed.
It's usually kind of not a big deal unless they leave on the news, like CNN or some god awful shit like that. And then, you know, I notice like when I go to old people's houses, I notice like whatever's on TV. That's sort of like a reflection of like what you can expect, right?
It's kind of
CNN's
it's always
on,
interesting
they're
what
gonna
they're
try and
watching.
talk to you about politics.
It's interesting because it's so weird, like whatever they're watching. You're like, oh, whoa, people still do this, right?
Actually, that reminds me of a theory I heard recently that is like rings depressingly true, which
I
is
love
that
these.
generally speaking, people do not have opinions or form opinions. Instead, they are assigned opinions based on the information silo that has claimed ownership over them.
Well, yeah, it's people don't have ideas, ideas have people. Yeah.
It goes even farther and says that basically there's different information silos. Whichever one has sort of claimed you as a user, it'll just funnel your opinion to you, and the things that you care about and have strong opinions on, it's because whoever is controlling that information silo has decided that's what you're going to care about. It's not like you decided this matters to your life, or, oh, this impacts me a whole lot, or, oh, illegal immigration is absolutely something that's really relevant to me personally. It's like, no, someone decided that would be relevant to you personally. And then the theory takes another turn where it's like, and all of this is being really generated and driven a lot by algorithms in terms of what triggers the most interaction. Fear and hatred, and algorithms are sort of like the birthplace of AI. So it goes on to say that essentially AI has to reproduce by generating hatred and fear in humans, and that's why we're seeing all this polarization, because it's the reproductive process of AI.
Oh, okay. So kill computers. Got it. Glad I'm as analog as I am.
Well, I just thought that was cool stuff to think about.
It's creepy. But
it's like totally, it's totally fucking true too. Like that's the herd shit, dude. Like Bro Team, I think, was talking on Twitter today about like how he's like, when you try to ask people like, what are the 3 worst things Donald Trump did during his presidency? They don't have like things they can talk to you about. They just get mad that you asked that question.
Yeah, they always get mad when you ask.
What do you mean? He's horrible. He's he's racist. What racist things did he do while he was president? What racist things has he ever done? Are you defending Donald Trump?
The Taco Bowl.
Yeah, like it's always like shit like that. Like, look, I'll be the first guy to tell you that the guy's a known con artist. He's a fucking little pompous rich kid who acts like a tough guy and shit. Like, he's not like an awesome person.
Sure,
but
yeah, he's like a weird billionaire.
He's also not
so
the fucking Antichrist. Yeah, like he's definitely gotten things loosened up more in the fucking government than any previous president we've had in like the fucking last 30, 40 years.
Possibly.
Yeah.
My mom. Apparently they're calling the election for Biden though. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, they called it for Al Gore back in like
that's true.
2006 or wherever it was too.
I just know this because my mom was messaging me and she's very excited. So.
Oh, I'm glad that she's happy. That's good.
I was like, Mom,
yeah,
why do you
I can't
care?
wait for the Biden presidency because all these fucking people who are just like, who think like that their life is shit because like Donald Trump's president or something, like these, like LGBT people think somehow because Donald Trump is president, like black people have it harder or something.
I wasn't able to get married because of Donald. Oh wait.
Get ready for the oppression to end. Get ready.
Right. Get ready for no more black people getting shot by cops. Right.
Yeah. As soon as
Biden's going to be president, so that's going to stop now, right?
Well, this is actually something
anxiety and hatred and like dysphoria and the just the resentment towards all of your fellow humans. All of those feelings will be gone as soon as you have a different president.
That's something.
It was never you. It's the president. It's the president.
Okay. Yes. You're hitting on what I wanted. Okay, you're hitting on it because I had this moment today where I was like, the last 4 to 6 years of my life haven't been miserable because of, or they haven't been miserable. All the bad things that have happened have not been because of any elected official. They have been because of other people reacting to elected officials, but taking it out on me or someone else. It's all been other people choosing to act nasty, and it's like, you didn't have to do that because of someone else being elected. Does that make sense? Because that's where all my issues have come from. Not the elected officials, the people who are mad at them, but they can't do anything about that, so they take it out on me or Dave or Hazen or somebody else I give a fuck about. Like, and that's the part that upsets me.
I had a guy I've worked with before on Newgrounds. He just like knew I do audio shit, and he's like, "Hey man, I got a podcast I do. Could you help just like clean this audio up just like real quick?" And it was like a really quick thing. I didn't even charge him for it. I was like, "Yeah, here you go, man." He's like, "Oh, thanks." And he messaged me on Twitter publicly to let me know that I was retarded because I thought there might be election fraud. He was like, "Now I remember why I stopped following you.
Hey,
you're retarded."
Do you remember, Hazen, that you're retarded? Do you remember?
Yeah.
You might need a reminder.
I'm sorry.
You're a retard.
Should have just responded to him with like, how could you have possibly not known that from the first instant you met me?
Yeah. How ableist of you.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chad is lighting up with election talk. Oh boy, some big text blocks. I get it.
That's why the algorithms love this shit, dude.
There's the algorithm. Now we have to talk about it. We have to generate that conflict.
No, I just really wanted to say a thing about people choosing to be nasty as opposed and blaming it. Well, I'm only nasty because of the president. It's like, no, you don't have to be a nasty person. Like, that's what you don't like about this guy is you think he is a nasty person, and now you are doing that. How is this not obvious to you?
People, I will say, like, people, not everybody, but there are some people who they're angry or mean or they want to lash out. And if there's any excuse that makes it socially acceptable for them to do that, they will believe that excuse. Like, I mean, I'm sure in the Middle Ages,
I
you
almost
had
think
people
they
who wanted to
wanted an
torture each
excuse
other.
to act
They would
nasty.
join the Catholic Church, and they'd be doing the what is it, the Inquisition. It's the same thing now. If you want to like be abusive and like destroy someone's ability to make a living and destroy their ability to have an income, it's like you get really woke, and that's your social license to hurt somebody. So as long as they've got like a strong enough tribe where that tribe gives them the license to indulge in their darker urges, that's what they're going to do. And then they just pretend like it's somehow virtuous because, that's the social license. That's where that comes into play.
It's like they just wanted an excuse. They're like, ooh, this is a good excuse for me to act super awful. And it's like, well, I think that says more about you than anything else. Like, the people I know in my life that have managed to maintain, like, some civil decorum throughout this whole thing, like, those are the good ones. Like, those are the people I like. It's like, oh, despite everything being crazy, you managed to not act like a huge asshole. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very nice. I appreciate that a lot. Oh man, I'm trying to read your guys' comments. Don't worry, you guys are typing up a storm. I can't read them all. I can't read them all out loud, but I am reading them.
All right, guys.
You know when you're successful.
Yeah.
Here's the reminder for anyone that has some big important insights to drop on us, and I'm tongue in cheek, but I'm welcome it. Now you've got to use a super chat to Bonitis at his Streamlabs.
Yeah, I will prioritize that.
AOC.streamlabs.com.
Oh god. Well, I want to tell my AOC story because that's pretty funny.
Streamlabs.net.biden.
Chris Bronze, Chris Bronze is leaving a few comments that I think are interesting. He keeps talking about, he's like, I'm in France and like way too many people give a fuck about you guys' election. And yes, I know a number of Europeans who are like weirdly invested in the Biden campaign. I was like, why the fuck do you care? Like,
oh, there were people in Europe talking about how like they should be able to vote in our elections. No, fuck off.
What? That's so silly.
Yeah.
That's the silliest thing.
Fuck off. Like, there's no way. Like, I just like tune European people out or like
the only
British
one
people out.
No, the only one I listen to
when they
is
come
Billy,
up like and they're just like, actually the American South, this is what's going on there. Like, actually, you're stupid and don't live here, and I do. So I'll tell you what's happening here, buddy. Okay, I don't care what you fucking heard on CNN. But,
I mean, if they send me some European stuff, like some wine or chocolate, I'll mail them a ballot. Yeah. Can we just do a trade? Let's negotiate.
Yeah, that's what they were doing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Hazen, is your whole shirt unbuttoned? Like, you are showing some chest, buddy.
I'm rocking it, dude, bro.
Okay.
Look at this.
Bone, why do you think our views are going up?
Oh, that's it. We gotta get. Oh no!
Don't mention my boyfriend.
Paint those tits. We'll have a Hazen tit painting stream.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'll do it.
Get some lyrics tattooed on there.
It's not that impressive. I could do that. Yeah. I can
That's
do what
all
these girls
Twitter
do.
is today is Europeans congratulating U.S. citizens for electing not Trump. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Congratulations, other country. Like, that's just such a weird.
I've heard from people I know in South America that, like in Brazil and shit, they are like for like the last 2 months they have been telling people the election was already over and Biden won.
What?
And like they think what they were they think like what they were gonna do is try to convince these other countries that if Trump won the election somehow that it was due to like a coup.
What the fuck? Oh,
yeah, I don't know. Like, why else would they be talking like he was already the president? That's so fucking stupid and weird.
Bone, I was like talking about this stuff with you like this summer when we were out fishing, and I was getting mad because they kicked us out of the park when we were getting gar. Like,
that was upsetting.
This was me talking. Yeah, I was talking about like, oh yeah, they're doing all this stuff. They're setting it up to make sure that the election doesn't have a credible outcome, and that way they can just muscle through whatever they want with like the media. And I don't know, maybe I was talking crazy back then, but it looks a lot like that now. So
yeah, no, you were talking about this. That was like before we were even getting annoyed by park rangers, I think. But it was
yeah, you're right. That was like July, maybe.
I want to say, yeah, it was late July or early August. If I ran for office on the nihilism ticket, no, not nihilism, but I do like your idea, Real Nunison, for destroying something expensive during press conferences. That's pretty cool.
That'd be a fun.
Mutton Chop's talking about something pretty interesting too. He's saying like, since Trump got elected, he's been like everywhere he goes. If just because he doesn't want to hear stories about Trump 24/7.
Yeah, sure. No, I
people
get
are just like, you're garbage. You're horrible.
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to constantly listen to this shit?
I don't get it either.
That feeds back into the thing Dave was talking about. How like they're just there's these thought mills that are the media, and they're just constantly like shepherding all the fucking sheep people into these fucking ideas. Yeah. Orange man bad.
Well, I think it's especially dangerous. And I don't even want to tell people like be happy or be sad based on which candidate is like, who cares? But I do think it's dangerous that in these camps, there are absolutely mandatory opinions. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what action. It doesn't even matter if you like hurt people or if you're nasty to people. But if you have the wrong thoughts about like a topic, if you fall out of step with the opinions that are assigned to you in that particular little chamber, then you are like an untouchable, and it's open season in terms of what people.
Oh yeah, fucking Alexandria Cortez was on Twitter today talking about.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, do you just don't forget, okay? Don't forget all these people who are supporting Donald Trump.
She was talking about like
keep a list of them.
Yeah, which it was a weird
thing
to
my God.
say. Which was a weird thing to say because it's like, okay, a lot of that information is public, but there was like a threatening implication there. It's like, why do you want a list of people who did something you don't like? You're an elected official, you have power. Like, there wasn't an overt threat, but there was, to me, there read an implied one.
Why do we have an American legislator from New York State talking to people on constituents and other people and American citizens on Twitter, telling them to keep a list of people who politically disagree with them?
Well, I think technically she was retweeting, I think, a list, an organization that is keeping a list.
Yes.
They were explicit about the purpose, and the purpose. So it's not an implied threat. It's just a threat, and the threat is like, oh, you'll never hold office. You'll never be allowed in academic institutions. You'll never be permitted to have any kind of a viable career. So it's essentially a list to ostracize and socially destroy people.
Well, and I made that joke about it where it's like, well, what do we do, AOC? Do we re-educate them, monetarily punish them, jail them, or kill them? And people were responding to me as though, one, I was serious. Well, no, not just one, that I was serious, but two, that what I was saying was a good idea. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? I thought that was very clearly a joke.
No, it's what they unironically think. And this gets back to our whole thing about if they have social permission to be like monstrous and cruel, it's like they're going to jump.
Yeah. And I think that some of them, but I think some of them don't even think that. I think that they just, it is that easy. People will not even look at your Twitter history. They won't even know who you are. And you just go on Twitter and say, yeah, we should punch Nazis. We should kill all Nazis. Everyone's a Nazi who disagrees with me, and they also deserve death. So, And then, like, you make, like, 30 friends.
Like, I thought I was saying the most outlandish, silly thing. Like, I think I told you guys. I was like, this is like me saying, like, Sam Hyde's, we're just gonna kill him. That's how silly I thought it was. And people are like, no, that's a good idea. I'm like, no.
It's that, but unironically and from an elected official. So, and this is one observation that I had just internally, which I guess I'll share it. It's not earth-shattering, but it's a little disturbing to me that the moment they think, okay, we've got this, victory secured, like their first thought, it doesn't turn to implementing policies that are going to improve anything. It doesn't turn to like lifting up this or like, oh, let's dial down some of the rhetoric or, oh, what can we do in terms of improving the lives of people? No, their first thought when they're like, yes, we do have power, it's time to punish people.
Yeah, let's make lists of people. Why? Oh, no reason. I bet there's a reason.
Like, I would never, in a million years, I would never look at somebody and say, like, oh, you voted for Hillary Clinton? You voted for Biden? Guess you'll never teach at my school. Guess you'll never be at my convention. Guess you'll never fucking do anything for me. And also, I'm going to chase you around everywhere. Like, that's like totally stupid, dude. Like, there are people right now, personally, who go around trying to like defame me and like just destroy everything I've like the little tiny thing I've built up. And I don't even go after those people because it's just like
we're in the same camp,
why?
man. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just idiots. They're just fucking cattle, dude. They're just walking around grazing on the hay they've learned to graze on because they have nothing left to fill out their day. So they're just going around watching every second of everything I do, trying to wait for any opening they can. And like that's fine if you want to if you want to spend your time on Earth doing that.
That's weird.
That's fine.
That
but I'm certainly not gonna, try to prevent you from getting a job due to that or anything. And somebody's political belief, whatever. You don't know why people believe the things they do. There may be plenty of people out there that are way left. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they fucking have seen shit in their life that makes them really believe that like there's white supremacists everywhere. Like maybe they really think that. I don't think that.
I've met people, and if you listen to why they have the beliefs they have, if you sit down, talk, and really listen, people generally have the beliefs they have for pretty valid reasons. How they act on them, that can get pretty out of control, obviously. But if you just want to understand why they come at things the way they do, it pretty much always makes sense.
I would say the exception is when you. The exception is when you run into people that you do want to, be like, oh, well, why do you think that? And then as soon as you ask that question, they just get angry at you.
Yeah, that's the part that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that earlier. Like, oh, what does Trump do that was racist? And they get mad that you'd even ask that, as though. That's
when you can see the cow skull underneath their fucking face, just illuminates like a fucking Shadowrun ability. Cow skull, moo moo moo. Like they don't have ideas. There's nobody home up there. It's just like CNN going on 24/7. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's weird though. Like part of me just wants people to be happy. So even when there's people out in the streets like, yeah, Biden won, sweet. It's like part of me is like, well, I'm glad that you're happy. I hope it works out well for you, and I'm glad that you're having a good day. That's cool. But then it's like I'm ambivalent because then the next thing they do is like, and we're gonna fuck over those goddamn bastards that didn't vote for our guy. Yeah, let's punish them. We're gonna get him on a list. It's like, oh, and I know
should make it legal to see who voted for who.
Yeah,
and I know from personal experience that even when people like suspect that they think they know what my opinion is, when they actually don't at all, because they don't talk to me and they wouldn't like think of talking to me. But even when they think that I might have a different opinion from them. We get fucked out of conventions we've attended for 12 years. We suddenly lose our access to running campaigns on Kickstarter. It does significant and serious damage to our business, like serious damage to our livelihood and our ability to feed ourselves. The only reason we're still here is because fortunately the readers are a little more powerful than the people trying to cut us down. But again, it's like I want to be happy for these people, but then it's like, oh, but you're the same people that get really excited about the idea of me starving to death.
Yeah, it's hard to be excited when it's like, yeah, these people are like excited that they could hurt people. Don't like that. I don't know. I guess they'll kill me. I voted for Vermin Supreme. Fuck it.
I don't know. Like I just have never seen somebody. I made a video about what a fucking hypocrite and piece of shit Asterios Kokkinos was.
I remember that video. I remember listening to that.
Yeah, it became a meme, right? I never once mentioned. I knew where he worked at that time. It was like kind of a secret, but I knew where he was at.
Was that when he
I
still
never
worked
said
at Weber
anything
Shandwick,
to anybody about it. What now?
Was that when he worked at Weber Shandwick or?
No, that was after that.
Oh, okay.
But like I when I made that video, like he was working somewhere else. He may still be working there, but I will never tell anybody where it is that I've heard he's at or what he's doing.
That's fine. That's good.
Because like I don't like him. I think he's genuinely a fucking piece of shit. And I think if he ever gets a job in TV like he wants or something like that, everybody he's claiming, oh, you guys are my best friends. You're my patrons. He's immediately those people all go in the trash. I know that's what he's gonna do. So I made this video and I pointed out all this hypocrisy and shit that I was seeing. I never once went after the guy's job. I never went after a way for him to feed himself. I never said, if you're subscribed to Asterios Kokkinos, we're not friends. You should unsubscribe. I never fucking did any of that because like I don't believe that's right. I don't think it's okay to fuck with people like that unless they're raping kids or something.
No,
that's the only time.
There's a
That's
guy.
the only time I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it crosses a line at a point, obviously. No, there's a guy that I have to threaten with restraining orders to keep the fuck away from me. But when it comes to conventions, I just tell them, like, hey, seat this guy away from me because he's weird and creepy. And they'll ask, like, well, do you just want us to tell him not to attend? I'm like, no, he needs to make money. Like, let him attend. I don't like him. He's awful. But that crosses a line for me that I will not do.
That is the difference to me. That's how you can distinguish.
And there's a part of me that wants
from the herd.
Well, there's a part of me that wants to say like, "Fuck this guy, I hate him. He's been mean to me and my friends." But I'm like, no.
But you have fucking some impulse control.
I guess so.
Yeah. You have some impulse control and some compassion, and like that to me, again, that's what separates human from herd. Like when you have some kind of level of compassion, you can
impulse control.
You can feel. Yeah, when you control your impulses to the point where someone who has tried really hard to make your life hell, and you're just like, no, I'm not going to fucking stop this person from just being able to survive and like feed their family or whatever. Like, that's a human being. That's a human being.
That's hurting
when you
somebody.
have people.
There's a layer of abstraction, but it's hurting somebody. Like,
like when you have somebody who like, I want to kill everybody who voted for Donald Trump. Well, why? What's so bad about them? What's so bad about Donald Trump? Are you defending Trump? Why would you ask me something like that? Like that's a fucking cattle. That's cattle. That's not a human being you're talking to at that point. There's nothing going on
I'm curious as to why I need to commit murder.
Set them out to pasture. Like whatever. Like that's you're not talking to a person. They're not presenting a person for you to talk to. There's somebody in there somewhere, but like they've gotten so fucking hollowed out by this fucking weird like shepherd tone shit the media constantly does, and it's very harrowing to like come to a fucking realization that you're on this planet with like so many fucking people who just like, what do I think today? I don't know. Let me turn the TV on so I know what to think, what my opinion is about this. And that's just on the right too. There's plenty of fucking idiots who sit out there and just watch Fox fucking News all day, or Milo Yiannopoulos or some equally stupid shit. And like they get like the dumbest fucking ideas about things. Like I remember Fox News one time, I think it was after Obama left office, he went to McDonald's and asked him if they had Dijon mustard there.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that was like a whole news day.
I remember. It's like, look how elitist he is. It's like, nah, he just has a mustard brand.
Obama can't handle regular mustard. Oh lordy, yeah, like fucking shut the fuck up. What kind of mustard Obama fucking wants on his cheeseburger is not news. It's not news. It's not worth talking about.
Brother likes Dijon.
Get off TV. Everybody in that fucking studio should have been fired that day.
It is a better mustard, to be fair.
See?
Yeah. It is the better fucking mustard. Let the motherfucker eat his Dijon mustard, dude. He was the goddamn president for 8 years. Let him fucking have the kind of sauce he wants on his burger.
Let him
if
at
they
least
have
ask.
it.
Like if they don't have it at McDonald's, they don't have it. But you know.
Like he's not going up asking for garlic aioli or some shit that has to usually just be handmade. It's like shit that you can get ordered in fucking little packages.
Sure.
I'm sure they have it.
Like, I remember there was a story like that bouncing around at some point where they got like footage of Obama at a gym and he was like lifting some little weights, doing like reverse flies or something. And they're like, oh, he is not lifting heavy weights. And it's like, well, everyone's at a different...
He's just a little skinny dude.
Everyone's at a different fitness level, man. He's just staying in shape. He's not trying to turn into like Obama Schwarzenegger over there. Like,
yeah, the Obama is not walking around telling people he can bench 330 or some shit, dude. Like he's just like a fucking politician. Chill.
I remember even at the time, like there was some policy stuff that I was not too happy about, and I was annoyed that a story like that was even a thing, because it's like, hey, what if we just said it's cool, he's at the gym staying healthy, that's fine. Perhaps if we're going to complain about something, what if we complained about something that actually kind of fucking mattered and was a little bit real? Would that not be more constructive?
Do you remember tan suit Obama? The one time he wore a tan suit? You remember that?
No, I don't think I saw that.
Oh.
I don't think he'd look good in a tan suit.
Well,
why did he choose to do that?
It was just I forget why it happened, but one day he was like all he had, and he wore a tan suit, and it looked weird as fuck. And it was like the talk of the town all over the the news, and was like, what does it mean? He wore a tan
to
suit.
To be fair, yeah, that probably did look pretty bad.
It looked really weird. He looked like Kim Jong-un, but black. Because that's what he wears. He wears like the safari suit, you know.
It looks like Gus from fucking Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Normal people to just joke around at that stuff. We're like, he was at the gym, haha. I make fun of it. Yeah, whatever. If it's getting some laughs.
Yeah, that's like what you see on Poll, though. That's like a meme someone posts on Poll where it's just like, become president, still can't fucking lift more than the bar or something, you know, like. Yeah,
but like
that's like where that belongs.
Yeah, but then it's like, but no, it's coming from instead like our top like social institutions that are dispensing information and telling us how to navigate reality, or that's what they want to be doing. It's like, no, you guys need to be holding yourselves to a higher standard because of your position and the amount of influence you wield. And the fact that they're not, it's like they're just making things worse. It's like, oh, cool.
Obama using a Zune.
That was a thing. He had to borrow his iPod wasn't working, so he used the Zune, and people were like, "Does he not like the iPod? It's the superior device." And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking kill myself."
It's always like the dumbest shit, and it's like that too. And
I remember
really,
all
like
this
when
stuff.
Obama was president, I was like, well. You know, surely people will get sick of this stupid shit. Like the next president we have, you know, they probably won't fucking mention like dumb little everyday things. And then like Trump gets elected, and I was like, well, damn, a lot of people don't really like that guy, but you know, I guess he's president now. I guess we'll see what happens. And they're, you know, every day, Trump, you know, tried to go down a little slope at the airport today, and he walked a little funny. That's worth the whole fucking week of news, right? Like 7 fucking calendar days of news.
Bone, why is your brain full of this stuff? It's called brain sludge. It's like how you can. It's like how everybody can remember the theme song to Gilligan's Island. You don't want to. You'd rather there be something more useful in there, but you know that theme song. You can't get rid of it.
Professor and Marianne.
See? That's fucking worthless. That show sucks. But we can remember that.
This show really is dumb as fuck.
Dude, you watch it now, it's like, this was entertainment for who? Like,
for people who had never seen TV. You know, that's why, like, I've probably said this before on this show, but that's why, like, every movie sells like $1 billion, trillion, $1 million in fucking China, because like they're just getting used to, like, they just haven't had movies for like 50 years. They just weren't allowed to have them.
That's why.
And now, like, they're bringing whatever over.
Like, if the Transformers movies came out in the 60s, people's minds would have melted. Like,
oh, yeah. Oh, dude, the first Frankenstein movie, I think it was the silent film that was just, like, they had, like, sound effects and shit. People were fucking passing the fuck out in the movie theater. They were so fucking terrified.
And, like,
my grandma went to go see that, dude. She just said that it was the scariest thing she's ever seen, and she said what made it so scary was the fucking like way they did the lightning or something.
You watch that now, you'd be like, this is hokey. Like,
yeah. Oh, I don't. Yeah, that particular movie, Frankenstein. Yeah, but dude, some of those old fucking movies, like,
they're cool.
I don't know how they did some of the shit they did. Like, there was just like. Some of them are scary. Some of them are fucking scary, dude.
They've got a feel about them that's kind of timeless, which I like.
Yeah, like
you watch Fritz Lang's Metropolis from like 1929 or whatever, and that movie still is like unsettling. It's creepy.
Like, yeah, that American Psycho. I'm thinking about just Psycho.
I was about to say that's not quite as old.
Not the Patrick Bateman one, the one with the guy's mom or whatever. Spoilers, but yeah, like those old movies, like there's something about them in the same way there's something about like the late 70s, early 90s, like horror movies, where it's something that's so. Especially scenes where like there's a fucking weird lot of violence going on and there's no music.
Shit's offensive.
There's something that's very like psychologically like
it's blunt.
Yeah,
it's not telling you how to feel. It's just happening, and you have to figure out how to feel.
Yeah, I one of the more recent movies like that comes to mind is Let the Right One In.
That's a
I
great
think it was
movie.
a Swedish film.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, not the American one, but the one that actually was from Norway or
God,
wherever.
I
But
watched
like,
that in college. That was a great film.
oh my God, dude! Like, just because they don't give everything away and tell you how to fucking feel with the music.
No, just shit just happens, and you're like, oh, that's not right.
It's like, yeah, and like if you ever are unfortunate enough to see shit like that in real life, like it's like the same feeling. Like you're just like, you cannot believe what you're fucking seeing. You think like, oh, that didn't just happen. That's gonna be like some kind of a thing where they a dream sequence or something. There's no scary music. There's no way that something scary is happening.
What's a movie I saw recently that was like that? It was an old Western movie. It had Kurt Russell in it, but it was pretty recent. I forget what it was called.
Bone Tomahawk?
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk.
That's supposed to be really good.
There was just a gruesome scene towards the end and they didn't even have over the top gore throughout most of the movie at any point. But then towards the end, these spoilers, these like horrible sort of cannibal, like not really natives, but there's something else that even the natives are scared of. They get one of these guys in the cage and they just pull him out in front of the other people that are also survivors, and they just start hacking him apart in the most horrendous way you could imagine. And you just see it happen with like the sound effects and screaming and the other people having to watch it go on. And it's like, wow, that was probably the most intense violence I've ever seen on film.
Huh. I've always wanted to watch that movie. I tried to get my family to watch it one time. That was like my only opportunity, and they were like, "No, that looks too intense." I'm like, "God damn it!" I never get to watch what I want.
There was also that. I think this is maybe like an '80s film. That Salo.
Oh my God! AJ just watched that last week. He just bought the Criterion.
Why?
The Criterion collection. He likes to watch super controversial movies.
Well, that's definitely one that fits the bill. Like, I would never watch that again.
Yeah, when you get to the part, the Circle of Shit, I believe it was called.
I can't even fucking look at the cover of that movie, dude. Like, I couldn't eat for like 2 days after I watched that.
AJ just popped in and said, "I hear what you're talking about."
It's the most like, it's not even like the violence or the psychological shit. It's just that fucking scene, like all that whole thing leading up to that. It's just like, how fucking disgusting.
Well, it was written by the original manuscript was written by the Marquis de Sade, the guy who they named the term sadism after. So
Yeah, 50 Days of Sodom, shit like that.
120 Days of Sodom, yes.
120 Days of Sodom, yeah.
You're telling us about this on Halloween. Wasn't the guy who directed this movie, didn't he die shortly after it too?
He died after he was done directing it, before it came out.
Man.
In theaters, yeah, and it is still.
He didn't get to see his own movie.
He didn't get to see it in theaters, at least. He got to see it all getting filmed, all the marmalade.
It was
in
theaters.
In some countries, it is banned in Italy to this day. It's the country where it was made.
And the country it takes place in. I think, it's Italian dignitaries that like kidnap those kids or whatever.
Yes, they're the libertines.
I just like, I remember somebody telling me, I bought that at a comic convention, and I remember somebody telling me like, "Oh yeah, that's an awful movie, dude. Don't watch that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." It's just a movie, bro. How bad could it be? I've never seen anything like usually when I see stuff like this, I'm like, you need to experience this for yourself to understand what I'm talking about. I don't recommend anyone experience this. I know that sounds rough. Like a joke. I'm not joking. Like, don't watch this movie. It's not good. It's not like something that will improve your life. It's not something that will open your eyes to like the horrors of things that are all around you.
It is quite literally horrific. Like, it is actually horrific.
It is just a fucking horrible fucking film that just like makes you feel worse for like days.
AJ had already watched Showa this year, so he was pretty prepped for things that make you feel terrible. So Showa, for those who don't know, is a 9.5-hour, another Criterion Collection one, 9.5-hour documentary about the Holocaust. So, like I said, he just likes watching really controversial,
some of you knew that,
upsetting films. He's a film major, so I got him Showa for his birthday. He was thrilled to pieces. Ooh, a 10-hour Holocaust documentary in HD. On Blu-ray and everything. Serbian film. I've heard that's pretty rough too. Yeah.
I can't. Serbian life is pretty fucking rough. I can't imagine a film about it.
It's just called Serbian film. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but I have a feeling within a month my husband will have watched it. So, well, you know how
I've always heard about it. I've never watched it. Yeah.
He's like Jay Bauman on Red Letter Media. He'll just watch anything and just be like, "Yeah, that was rough, but you know, I appreciated the cinematography," or "Oh, the history is really interesting." Like,
don't watch Serbian film. Frodo says.
That's what he's saying. I've heard that's a really rough one.
I know the one everybody's seen that's really rough, and I really loved it as a movie, but I would never watch it again.
What
probably ever is Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that's a rough movie.
Oh my god, dude.
Hey, you want to do heroin? No. Just no.
The end.
Yeah, that's
no movie.
Yeah, that's a better anti-drug PSA than anything Dare has ever conceived.
If you got somebody who's thinking about like, you know, I might try to do like painkillers, like just show up fucking Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, maybe I won't. Okay. Yeah. Good music though.
Yeah, I think a soundtrack.
No, yeah, there's some films that are they're about really rough themes and they don't gloss over it. Anyway,
I think we need shit like that though, like, because people need those like harrowing, like vicarious sort of experiences to, you know, sort of like sometimes it scares you straight and sometimes it helps you like identify with what like other people go through and shit. I think
it helps you understand things. It's an instruction manual in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. But hey, trigger warning. That's gonna upset people, so don't watch it. Have no feelings. That's why I'm against that kind of thing. 'Cause I'm a bit of a tough love guy. I'm like, oh, this is. What was it? The first rated R film my dad let me watch was Saving Private Ryan because he wanted me to understand how horrible war was, and boy, that left an effect.
He should have let you watch The Deer Hunter.
I have not seen that, but
The Deer Hunter scared me the fuck away from the army way more than Saving Private.
I was in like the 4th grade, man. That opening scene when you're in the 4th grade, that was like I was like, holy shit!
God damn.
Yeah, like I was not ready for that. I was reading like Calvin and Hobbes books, okay? Like that's where I was at.
Full Metal Jacket too. Like that's one that like will make you fucking think twice about like, you know, signing up for some shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I could be like with a retarded person and a guy yells at him till he murders him. Okay, well, maybe not.
Well, like that, and then like the second act of that movie
half
too.
Where they go to Vietnam and it's just like a fever dream nightmare where they all get murdered by like a woman sniper.
Apocalypse Now seem like the quintessential Vietnam movies.
Apocalypse Now is like just a great experience. Like it's not much of like a war film really. It's just like it's like an overwhelming sensory experience. My first rated R movie was technically The Matrix, but my second was Saving Private Ryan. Very different films. One made guns look real cool. One made them look scary as fuck.
I think I can't remember what I think maybe Die Hard was my first R-rated film. Great movie, by the way.
Well, yeah, that's just like a fun. That's just like a fun film. Everybody likes Die Hard.
Great fucking movie. Jesus Christ! Like some of like the level of acting by like Bruce Willis and shit. Like they just don't let people do shit like that in movies anymore. Like the first like guy attacks with the machine gun. How he's like got him like wrapped up and he's like fucking punching him and like trying to break his neck and he's like he's not even acting. He's like actually fighting the guy. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. He's like fucking like fighting him and fucking like screaming and shit. Like it's so real. And, like you watch that now and you're just like, oh shit, like that guy's like, it's like watching a real fight.
No,
like two people actually fighting for their
the
life.
most real fight is the one in They Live with Rowdy Piper and whoever the black guy was, where they just beat the shit out of each other for like half an hour, very slowly.
Yeah.
That's like what an actual fight looks like. Put on the glasses. Put on the glasses. I do love that movie. They Live. It's so fun. Hashtag relatable. They Live. I mean, you know, with some of the topics we were hitting on, like, oh, yeah, that seems like about all of our speed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially with this weird week we've been having.
Do you, like, it's going to be, you know what, it's actually going to be bad. That's why, at this point, I don't think there's any good outcome, period.
You don't think so?
Like, if the result of, and I mean, they say it's not widespread fraud, and it's like, correct, it's not widespread fraud. It's very specifically, strategically targeted fraud.
Yeah.
So, like, if the result of this fraud is that an election is subverted by the most powerful media corporations the world has ever known, you know, that's not a good outcome. That's a bad outcome. But also imagine if, like, the legal challenges successfully go through and the court system actually does determine, oh, yes, we're able to confirm this fraud, and now we're going to say that it's actually Trump instead of Biden. Like, people are going to lose their minds. Like, whatever happens, like, it's just going to be terrible.
Oh, they're going to be told to lose their minds, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be...
That's really weird that there's people, based on what we've been talking about, where it's like if they're told to lose their mind, they just kind of will. Like, that's not good.
Yeah. Then they get reinforced by fucking Chris Cuomo.
Well, especially when they have,
that protesters have to be nice.
Well, especially when they have, like, news corporation, like corporations being like, oh no, you don't want to protest at our headquarters, but in suburbs and other places, it's peaceful, and you know that we'll call it peaceful. By the way, we need to identify the Trump supporters and put them on lists. Our senators that we approve of have spread this message, and we like that message, and Twitter's not going to censor that one. Don't worry. But but no matter what happens, it's not like there's a really good result macroscopically. So it kind of reinforces what we've been saying all along for the past like couple of years doing this stream. Is just focus on the people around you, focus on what you can do, because this other shit, it wasn't our job to ensure the election integrity went forward. Whoever's job it was, boy, did they fuck up. But it wasn't our job. It's nothing we can do about it. So just focus on the people around you and trying to make things good that you do have control over.
And the only thing I don't, and this is, you know, as you, Dave, would know, this is kind of my line of thought, is like, yeah, do control what you can. I understand people being upset and angry about things they can't control. That's very frustrating.
Sure.
Because you don't just want to be like, hey, man, whatever happens. Fuck it. It's like, well, no, you should probably be upset about upsetting things. I get that. But try and keep it relegated to, okay, this is upsetting. Don't take it out on people that really don't have anything to do with it. With their Trump supporters, they made it happen. It's like, did they? Like, they voted for the guy, but does that mean you have to treat them horribly? Like, what have they actually done to you that is awful? It's like, well, they're Nazis. It's like, no. Nazis, like, rounded up people from their homes and put them in camps. That hasn't happened here. Like, we were promised that would happen for 4 years. Never did. I got gay married, everything. It was fucking fine.
I mean, some of these people are so far gone, though, that you can tell them exactly that, and then they will argue to your face, and they will actually believe what they're trying to tell you. They'll argue, no, people are being rounded up from their homes. Like, they'll...
Yeah, that's the weird part.
There's kids in cages.
Yeah.
Well, their parents brought them here from somewhere else, and they get shipped back to where they came from. It's not like they're keeping them in there to torture them.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, you hear the kids.
They did it under Obama. That was an Obama policy.
It was an Obama policy, and then it's
is,
like, yeah, it's Border Patrol. They put people in rooms because they have to put them somewhere. A room is a cage, whatever.
Trying to de-radicalize people from like this hatred. Trying to de-radicalize people from this hatred that they have been instructed to hold. It is every bit as futile, I think, as trying to explain to somebody with facts and logic why their religion isn't totally real. It's like, if they believe it, they are not going to change their mind because they have a system that they've placed their ethical structure on. This is not like a rational belief system. It's not like opinions about policy or like cause and effect. They have decided this is my moral foundation. Believing this is the thing that makes me good. Not what I do, not how I impact the people around me. Believing this is the thing that makes me good. And they will never drop that because they don't have anything else that makes them good.
Yeah, because I think once they drop it, there's nothing there. And I think in a lot of these people's cases, a lot of them are depressive, anxious, whatever. I think if they drop that, they'll fucking kill themselves because they don't have anything else that makes them feel good. This whole believing makes me good thing, in a lot of people's cases, I think it's the last thing a lot of them have. And
if they drop that shit, they lose their identity, like in part of this group that they think they're part of, too.
Yeah,
that's something that can make you kill yourself.
That's their support network. Those are their friends, and I mean, it's happened to me. These groups, you know, any group of people, they will drop you like it's nothing if it's convenient enough.
Yeah, that's why it's hard, because I know, especially you were talking, this kind of touches on the thing we were talking about early in the stream about like, oh, loneliness is really strong. It is, but you've got to be careful like what kind of trade-offs you're willing to make in order to fix that, because you can really get yourself in a bind. Like it seems like a lot of people are in, where they have to kind of, you know, do terrible things to their fellow humans because otherwise the terrible things will be done to them and they'll feel lonely and be cast out. And it's like, yeah, you will be, but you need to build your support structure somewhere that's not so vindictive and hostile. You need to build your life with people that are not going to turn on you the moment you actually have a thought in your head that's not what they tell you to put in it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. It's really strange to watch. I guess you'd say it's like a hijacking of a person almost.
Yeah, and it's weird because it like starts at the top, right? Like the person on top decides, no, this is what we all believe now.
Yeah,
and then like
all right,
no one will oppose that person.
Oh, I mean, I've watched it happen in like small friend groups, and we've watched it happen in our own community with the furry thing, where it's like, this wasn't what the community decided, just like some people decided this.
Yeah, all it takes is the people in power, like the gatekeepers, the people with the ability to like fuck you up, take away your table, throw people out, ostracize you. And those people, they know they have power, and they will never ever give it up. But the other thing too about having that kind of power is you have to like, I feel like people that have that, they have to use it, because that's sort of like what validates them, is like exerting their will over other people. And if they're not using it, then it's almost like they're not sure if it's still there. So that's why too the rules are always shifting and constantly changing. It's like, oh, you have to hate this, edit undo, now you have to hate this. Edit undo, it's like you have to stay updated, you have to stay looped in the system, because if you lose an update, you're going to be the next one that they sick the piranha pack on.
Sure, and I think the most vivid example of that recently was the sexual preference thing, where suddenly was like, oh, you can't say that. And it's like, news outlets that were saying that had literally used that term during that week, and it was like, what?
What was this term? I guess I missed this somehow.
The thing where Amy Coney Barrett said they were questioning her before her inauguration, and she said, in relation to LGBT rights, she said sexual preference, and then the media, of course, went nuts, like, oh, that implies it's a choice, blah, blah, blah. Sexual preference, you can't say that.
Oh, give me a fucking break.
It was huge. It was everywhere. And my own relatives were lecturing me about this, and I'm like, guys, I'm the gay one. Fuck off.
It's weird too, because you know that's not something that any of these news organizations or anchors found objectionable days ago. But the decision came down. They're like, no, we don't want this person to be in the Supreme Court because Orange Man bad. So we have to get her on something. And it was so thin. The questioning brought up so little that's actually what they had to go with. They actually had to go with, well, she used the phrase sexual preference. We don't have anything better. So what if we just decided to stir up outrage over that all of a sudden? Like,
it was so weird.
And they did.
So I was like, people say that all the time. I don't give a fuck. Like, Me and my
And the thing
husband
is, like,
say
and
that.
everybody that can think with like two brain cells rubbing together, it's like they would know. It's like, what? No, this is not a problem. This was never a problem before. Why is this an issue? She gave the correct answer that we would wish someone in that position would give. But it's like, nope, that was the only thing they could try to spin into a negative, and you are instructed to hate it. You have to hate on command.
And people
you don't hate on command.
People I otherwise respect totally bought into it. I'm like, you use that term. Like, who cares? Why do you care about this?
Because they're told to.
It's so yeah, and that's all I could really come. One of them linked me a CNN article. I was like, okay, well, I don't know. It's just it is weird to watch people I otherwise respect and like and love and care about like opt into this like, oh, I'll just let like weird shouty news corporations do my thinking for me. It's like, bitch, they exist to sell commercials. Fuck off. Like, think for yourself.
Plus it's like, what if the Supreme Court nominee is fine? What if the only problem is like, oh, they use the phrase sexual preference? If that's the biggest problem, they're probably better than any other politician I could throw a dart at. I mean, do you know how horrible those people are? Like, why is it important to find a reason to hate this person?
Yeah, it was really bizarre. Yeah, and I don't know. It sucks that I can just navigate through the world and in my own mind fairly simply. I just look at something and I go, that doesn't make sense. Who cares? And people will get very mad at me for not caring, or like, because that's what I ended up telling the family member that was lecturing me about it. I was like, well, I just kind of, this doesn't really upset me, and I'm just going to choose to not be upset. They're not happy with that answer. Like, I was like, I just don't want to be upset about this. Like, it's not
I had
worth
another friend, that was talking about fucking like his mom was trying to show him some video about like, look at this, you'll think this is funny. And it was just like some dumb thing showing like pictures, like a now this type of thing. It was just like, Donald Trump has lost the election. What a goofball. What an idiot. He's gay. And then like they were just like,
just that ends on that.
Isn't that funny? Like, Trump is so dumb. And then the guy was just like, Mom, like, why are you showing me this? This is stupid. This
Mom,
is just
why
like
are you showing me this?
Yeah, nothing about this is funny. Like, the election is not even over. Like, it's not.
They get mad at you if you don't think it's funny, though. That's the weird part. It's like, I just
that like he just was basically like, I don't care about this. Like, this is stupid. And then his mom looked at him and said, "Are you defending Donald Trump?"
What the
this happened to him.
I don't know what happened after that. He said he just lost his mind. But like, yeah, because people are programmed. These fucking cattle, dude. They go out there and they put shit in the hay to make them fucking rage at you if you're not as mad as they are about whatever dumb thing the news told them they need to be mad about today.
It's actually weird because you're completely right. And Bones' example is exactly that, where they like, if you are happy, or normal, if you're not upset, if you're not angry, if you're not miserable, that's a problem. It's like you have to be miserable on command. It's such a weird fucking cult.
Because this is what they do. They program people to make them think that there's always a big problem going on. There's always a major problem. Everything that is going on in the world right now is bad, and if you're not mad about it, that's just because you don't know. There's only two reasons you wouldn't be constantly pissed off, and that's because you don't know what's going on, or you don't care and you're terrible. So the way you test people is you tell them that this stuff is bad and everything is so bad and they should be angry, and if they don't get angry, they know now, so it must be that they're terrible. That's what people actually think. They don't like go through that manually, but they've been subconsciously programmed to think that about everybody around them. So that when they go to a bar and they're fucking talking about, did you know Donald Trump did this? Biden, Donald Trump, like fucking, and somebody is so sick of fucking hearing about Biden, Trump, and they're just like, dude, can you just chill? I just want to have a fucking beer and eat this fucking slice of pizza and fucking just like talk about video games or watch sports on TV or something. They immediately go like, oh, so you don't care. You don't care that there's kids in cages. Like, they actually will like look at you and say shit like that and actually think that.
It's why I've just started saying, yeah, I don't care. I'm a bad person. They like don't know what to do with that, which it's fun, but they don't, doesn't make you a lot of friends, but
In real life, I just tell people, like, I'm like, man, that's terrible. And like they'll just be like, what do you think? I'm just like, my opinion is probably the same thing as yours is, honestly.
Yeah, and they probably
like,
love that, yeah.
You just say that to people, and it's like a magic spell. They just immediately are like, yeah. And they just fucking walk the fuck off. You don't have to deal with them. They don't come to your house, nothing. Like, they just fuck off.
That's weird.
Yeah, at this point, too, like, the stuff is becoming so ubiquitous, and it was not this bad, like, even a few years ago. Because, I've been living through the whole thing. It's so ubiquitous that at this point, it's like, having a conversation is not like just something that you hand out to anybody. Like, they kind of have to prove that they're actually acting like a human and that they're willing to listen to you. And especially, like, if you tell them, here's what I think, if they're not willing to believe you, if they're going to be like, no, you since you don't agree with me, I get to say what you think. You don't get to tell me what you think. I tell you what you think. Like, most people are like that now, or at least a lot of people. And as someone like that, it's like, okay, you don't qualify as someone who's going to be having a conversation with me. Because if you're not going to let me tell you what I think, then what am I even talking for? Sorry, I'm gonna do something else with my time. Yeah, we probably think the same thing. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's it's a risk reward calculation where you're like, all right, I could be honest with this person because that's, being honest is good, but they'll probably freak the fuck out and I'll have to spend hours making them feel better, or they'll have a big fight with me, or I can just placate them and now I don't have to deal with it. Which sucks because you want to be able to tell people, like, just, here's why I think the thing I do. Oh, now that I know why you think that, it makes sense. All right, but no. Instead, it's like, I'll just lie. Fuck it.
Just lie about it. Just lie to people, because like
it works. It fucking works. I find myself doing it more and more. I hate it, but I do it. I don't like to.
You hate it. I hate it. And when you tell people to do that, they're just like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just fucking lie, because like you are never going to convince that person that they're stupid, because they're too stupid to understand that. You're never going to convince them that they're being led to believe something.
I don't want to lie.
Like,
I don't like to.
Your only options are to tell somebody how you actually feel about it, which is going to do nothing but create turmoil for you.
Well, yeah.
Or you can, you can tell people how you feel about something, which is going to just ruin they and 2 or 3 other friends are going to try and ruin your life to the point where you are starving to death, clutching your kids in a fucking ditch, and you're all bare bones. That's what they want. They want to see everybody who doesn't want to vote for Biden or whatever.
Well,
like,
that's the weird part, is
starving to death, and they want to fucking take their kids and brainwash them.
Like, why do they want to see? Like, why?
Because they're fucking idiots, dude. They don't like think. They don't like. There's not like how when you run up on some new information, right? Like if you saw something on, I don't know where people get their news. Let's say what's like an actual news site people actually like report shit on.
There isn't one.
InfoWars.
Yeah.
All right, so I get all my.
Let's take InfoWars.
Sure.
If fucking Alex Jones, I like Alex Jones.
Sure,
I think
he's funny.
He's right about a lot of shit.
He's
a very funny guy. I don't think anybody else on his network is nearly in his league as far as entertaining. But
yeah, no kidding.
So I think Alex Jones is right about a lot of shit.
He
but
has been.
Let's say Alex Jones says. He comes on one night on Rogan or something, and he's just like, "Yeah, Joe Biden's a space alien. He's actually from Mars. He's 5th dimensional alien, vampire pedophile." Like as soon as he starts talking like that, like that little voice in your head that's like, "That's funny," but that's outlandish. That's probably not true, right?
Yeah.
Like
sure.
There are people who listen to Alex Jones who don't have that voice. They're just like,
that's just weird to think about for me. I question things,
fuck. Yeah, it's weird for me and you to think about somebody. It's weird for me and you to even entertain the idea and imagine that it's a possibility for somebody to hear something that insane and not stop for a second to like critically examine what they're hearing, even in like a comical way, right? That seems like that's not possible. I'm telling you, it's 100% possible. You remember Chris the fucking Kiwi?
Well, like, I know that. It's, there's a part of me that just, I hate that so much. I just don't want it to be the world I live in.
I hate it too.
It sucks.
Like I said, it's a harrowing
I
thing.
know it's true, and I think part of me just needs to keep hearing, like, Kit, people do this. And I
hate telling it to people do because it's heartbreaking. Like it's a mind fuck for real.
And I
like,
try to be positive despite it all.
Wake up to that.
Well, I mean, Kit, this is why when you were like responding to Ocasio-Cortez, and you're like, "Oh, so what do we do with the people on the list? Do we just kill them?" That's why you had people that were like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
That's a good idea. I was like, "Oh no, that was a joke." Jesus.
And actually, touching on the
they know these politicians know that shit too. They know like that like there are people out there who are going to take them seriously.
I mean, they have.
That's kind of why they do some of this stuff. It's not good. But to touch on the point earlier, Bone, where you're like, yeah, they want to see us like, starving and in ditches and all that stuff. Like, why would people be that way?
Yeah, why would you want to see that? Like, that's awful.
Like, I can kind of armchair psychologist it. It's going to be mostly BS.
Let's hear it.
But I think it's because I've been around for a while. I've seen a lot of different people, and I've seen how things kind of turn out. Not even just on the internet, even just in real life. And a lot of it is self-hatred. Like they hate something about themselves, or like they hate that they have not accomplished what they wish they were going to accomplish, or they're insecure about something regarding themselves. And it's when there's denial about that. Like we've all got stuff with us that's like messed up, and like we've fallen short in like so many ways. But it's just like, okay, you try to face that and square with it and do better next time, or just be like, hey, I'm not perfect. Okay, whatever. But when someone will not square up to some of the stuff they've done, or some of the people they've hurt, or some of the ways they've fallen short, or some of the ways they need to improve, maybe they don't want to acknowledge that they're just not that good at something. Like there's this resentment and anger at the mismatch between what they want reality to be, what they want themselves to be, and what's actually there. And the last thing in the world they want to do is look in the mirror and face that. But that emotion has to go somewhere. So it goes onto something that makes them good when they hate it.
Man, you gotta put that emotion into making comics. Then you'll mostly feel better.
Yeah, but that takes work. That's not just like taking work, but to learn to draw. I know how to do a bunch of shit, man, and drawing is probably one of the hardest things because like.
Doesn't it take a lot of work to like go around on the internet all day and like hate people though? Like that sounds.
It's. If you live with mom and dad, it's easy. You just never get out of bed and stay on your phone on Twitter.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's like a vice. Hatred is like a vice. And I'm not going to tell people, never have a drink, never indulge in a little bit of Schadenfreude, because maybe a little bit here and there. It's like whatever. I'm not going to dictate to someone how much of a vice they can handle, but a vice can get out of control and consume your life, and hatred is just like that. It's easy. It's so easy to slip into hatred.
That's what happened to Fred Phelps.
Yeah,
it's got so much gravity to it. Like it's one of those weird things where when you succumb to it, you feel worse. Everything around you gets worse. Your life is bad, but it's for some reason it's like so seductive to just let go and indulge in it. And so a lot of people will do the easiest thing, and that's to just let it happen.
It's easy, and technology is not only making it easier for you to fall into those vices, but it's encouraging you to.
No, I've definitely noticed that, like the weirdo Twitter warriors who like just fight and spew hatred at other people all day, like they get rewarded for that, and I'm like, that's not good. Like, there's some people, you just look in the furry community where it's like all they do is they just talk about how much they hate everybody all day, every day. And they've got, quadruple or octuple the following Dave or I have. And it's like, these people add nothing good to the world, but they're being rewarded for it. And it's not, you can say like, oh, it's the technology, and the technology is part of it. But people are choosing to be like, yeah, I want to hear more from this guy who's awful. And it's like, why? Why do you want to hear from someone so nasty?
Well, I mean, part of it is, again, it's easy to indulge in that vice, and hatred and fear are the major human drivers. So, I mean, I guess love is in there, but frankly, fear is stronger than that. So that's what's going to drive the algorithm because it gets the most engagement. But on top of that, too, a big problem is, I mean, look at the people that run Twitter. And if you actually look at some of the reporting on it, like the actual reporting from like Nick Monroe on Twitter
Yeah, no,
staff,
I've seen that. Some of those guys are fucked.
They are exactly the type of people that we're talking about. So, like, the fact that Twitter elevates and literally rewards this type of thinking, it's not an accident. It's absolutely deliberate. It's designed in the system. Twitter, like the people that run Twitter have decided, hey, here's what we want to incentivize. We want to incentivize our religion, which is mandated hatred on command of the targets that we designate. And they don't call it a religion, but I mean, it really is. It's not rational. It's not really political. Like, obviously, it's mostly political because it's about control so much. But no, so a lot of it is just the human factor that the people that run these hideously powerful social companies, they are the source of a lot of this, and they elevate it and do everything they can to make their beliefs propagate. And their beliefs happen to be, this horrible cult of hatred.
I mean, you're not wrong. Obviously, it's just that's just it. It is upsetting, and it's I'm Mr. Positive. I like to put a positive spin on it. And it's like, a bunch of people are being programmed to hate each other, and they're not going to stop, and you can't reason with them. Oh, okay. What's the positive spin? There is none. You might die. Oh my god. What do you do with that?
Like the positive spin is just at least we can talk with each other about it. And we've got like a nice little community of people that are kind of sane, and we just gotta hang together and get through it together. And it's a crazy, horrible world. But I kind of think back to in the Dark Ages, you had the church. Like what we're talking about now, this is the new church and I'm not talking about like the hippy dippy down the corner. Jesus is love. Jesus is everything. He makes me so happy. It's like, no, that's like the tame, contemporary, nice version of church. I'm talking in the Middle Ages. The church was it had a monopoly on morality. It had a monopoly on declaring what was ethical. It had a monopoly on declaring if you were allowed to fuck. The church was in control, and there was the feudal lords, the oligarchs, if you will, and the church, and the oligarchy, the political power. It really had to pay a lot of homage to the priesthood and the church because it was a big power dynamic, and it was also the only gateway to morality and ethics in heaven, and it could cast anyone out as a heretic. And this woke stuff, this is the new church.
Yeah,
and I mean that in the sense of social
we've said that
control.
A lot, but I get it.
But I mean, not even in terms of like just personal morality, especially it really is the church in terms of commanding social control and entanglement with political authoritarianism.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
I mean, I'd like to be wrong, but that's.
I mean,
really
yeah,
what
wouldn't this be great? It'd be like, oh, we were wrong about this. Thank God. So it'd be like, yeah, and if we're wrong, things go back to normal. Oh, that's not happening. Well,
we just gotta. I mean, people in the Middle Ages lived through it. Peasants lived through it. They just, make some crude jokes.
Not a lot of them did.
Well, yeah, a lot of them didn't, but we want to be the ones that survive.
Yeah, none of those people are alive anymore. Think about that.
they lived through like what they were put through most of the time, but like there was this just constant fear of like damn, I better not piss these people off too bad,
or they'll execute me in the town
one day
square.
they all just kind of like decided, damn, we're gonna fucking just go to this other place, man, and try this like Plymouth Rock. Yeah, that sounds good, we'll go there. And they went here. And then some other people were like, oh, they live there, we're gonna come there too. And then they fucking like colonized it for those countries, and the church tried to, get in on that shit too, which it did eventually, but like not so. Like the Catholic Church especially does not have like such a grip over America.
Hey,
it has one here,
got me pretty good,
but it's not like, it's not like it was in fucking like 1400s fucking Spain or some shit like that. But they got away from all this stuff. Like a lot of the people who were trying to do shit in the Americas, like the pirates and stuff like that, the guys who like colonized Nassau and stuff, like William Teach and those guys.
Dude, yeah, they had their whole like pirate nation and whatnot. They
wanted to do that because they were tired of gods and kings.
Yep.
They were like, no gods, no kings, just men. Like they wanted to have a place where they didn't have to answer to all these people, and they kind of figured out like, fuck, it's gonna be really fucking tough to do this.
I mean, that sounds like exactly what we're sort of going through right now, honestly.
Yeah, our own little fucking pirate cove.
We're trying to build our own little civilization. No gods, no kings, no danger hairs, just men and comics. And it's not easy, but we're actually doing a pretty good job of it so far.
Yeah, no, we're holding out. It's analyzing the truth of the situation is difficult, but yeah, at the end of the day, I don't see a single one of us just giving up, being like, fuck it, I'm joining the cult. I'm going to talk like a lunatic and hate everybody I care about. It's like, no, that doesn't sound like a very fun life.
Yeah, well, I think the key is, like, also sometimes I try to think about, like, well, if I was writing a fictional story, like, how would a character in a story deal with this scenario in a way that makes them more likable to the audience and not, like, and it's like, okay, got to have a sense of humor about it. Got to take... It's like, yeah, it's a serious, dark situation, but you know what? Don't take it too seriously, because even in a dark time, just lighten up a little bit, have a light touch, have a little bit of gallows humor, and get through it with your good buddies that are up for braving the danger alongside you.
No, it is like, despite the grim subject nature, it is fun to get on the stream with you guys and have a few beers and talk about this stuff. It helps. It's part of my weekly routine, and it helps keep me centered on what's important. So,
I like it, and I think this, especially paired with, I know Hazen, you're too far away, but paired with like occasionally having excursions and adventures and trying to fish and stuff like that, it's just
yeah, and like I like that stuff because it's grounding. It's like, oh right, this is like the just natural, real world of physics and nature. It works this way, regardless of politics, regardless of how people scream at each other on the internet.
And I too, like, this might sound like kind of self-serving. We know what that's a reference to, but even the recent Indiegogo campaign, like, that's a huge sign that, hey, we're not in this alone. We've got people that have our back, and they actually appreciate what we're trying to do. And when it's time to show up and try to show their support for what we're doing, goddamn, do they show up and support it? Like, we're not just like some little outfit like crying in the wilderness with no chance, no resources. Like, this was a huge campaign.
It did well.
They just backed.
And yeah,
and we backed it without any approval from the priesthood.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, no, and that. Sorry, yawn came on. No, and I think that's good, and I just. It's part of me is like, oh, I wish there were more voices on my side, but I think a lot of people are, and rightfully so, they're scared to speak up, but they see an opportunity to be like, oh, I can support this and just buy a book. It's a nice, quiet way of keeping the voices that aren't afraid to speak up alive. So that's very, very good and very, very important.
Yeah, no, it really is, and yeah, so could be worse. Could be raining.
Yeah, that was last week. This week it's 78 degrees for some fucking reason. Oh, yeah, that's what we said. It was so many people are angry about the election. It's heated up the environment around us.
Yeah. So now we have these beautiful days because there's so much rage percolating
so
out in the
It's like,
atmosphere.
such a nice November. I was wearing flip-flops in November in Michigan. That's not how that's supposed to go.
Yeah, it was nice.
Anyway, it's actually 10:30. We've gone overtime. I just figured we kind of wanted to make sure that subject. We're like, all right, well, that was horrible. Goodbye. Like, enjoy your weekend.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Do the Weird Al goodbye.
Yeah.
No, it was just like, oh, this is rough material, and I saw the chat was like down. I was like, I don't want people to be sad. I want people to look at the situation as realistically and objectively as I can. I've noted a lot of people's concerns, and I understand them, and I think it's good to lay them out properly, even if it's not what people want to hear. It's like, oh, if actually your guy, the guy you like the mostest, won the election, and you should be happy. It's like, well, no, if things are bad, things are bad. But you know, don't treat people horribly because of it. But you know, let's why are a bunch of people acting like lunatics? Why is everybody so mean? Okay, let's bring that in.
That's one thing I do kind of want to leave off on, is that, like, don't feel like things are hopeless and don't feel like things are just not worth fighting for. That's what the media that is doing this shit, they want you to think that. They show you this shit and make sure it's in front of you every day because they want you to be demoralized. They want you to think about this shit and hear it from everybody every day and have to talk about it. So like, don't think that you can, there's no way you can just like get away from it or whatever. Like, just fucking like find something you can do with friends and just like get the fuck away from this shit once in a while, and don't fucking like get on Twitter. Don't get on Facebook, whatever you're getting on.
And like
just fuck it.
If you notice,
find some way to unplug from this shit.
Well, yeah, and if you notice that there's like an online personality in your life that's regularly just making you furious and making you do things that you end up regretting, like, unplug from that life. Like, unplug from that person. You don't need that personality around you. Like, if it's dragging you down and making you angry and miserable, like, stop giving that person the metrics, the money, the time of day, because that's all that's doing to you.
Yeah, and I would say, like, too, like, it's a grim world. There's bad stuff in it, but hey, we got each other, and we're building a cool little pirate kingdom, and could be a lot worse. We just gotta have a bit of a sense of adventure about going through rough times. And actually, I would say too, like, if you're looking for a good place to connect with people that's kind of outside of the social media hellhole, Bones chat and the Dreamkeepers chat on Telegram too. Those are pretty good places. You can relax there and talk to some people that are they're not going to cast you out, because we have an explicit policy against the cancel culture stuff. So yeah, if you want to just unwind with people that are trying to build a nice little retreat that's fun and cool, come check out Bones Telegram or the Dreamkeepers Telegram.
Yeah, no, there's fun people in there. We generally have a good time. We post art. The themes generally revolve, you know, it's like a lot of stupid general internet shit. We're like, hey, funny picture I found. But there's a lot of like self-improvement stuff and people asking questions, being like, hey, this is something that's happening that I don't get. And people generally try to reason it out. I like the general atmosphere in those chats, and I try to maintain it in my own little kingdoms.
Yeah, so, and I like too that it's off of Twitter, it's off of the big social media giants. It's just a little space where people can talk without the algorithm making them miserable and trying to mandate misery. So yeah, just kind of try to view all this horrible stuff, view it as an adventure, and we're in it together.
People asking in the chat, I don't have it on hand, the link, but just hit me up on Telegram at Bonitis, BONEITIS, and I can get you in. So, other than that, anything else we want to announce? I know we're streaming Shots with Comics tomorrow. We got a lot of listener requests and reader reviews, so.
I think that's it for now. I've got my announcements all out of my system this past month. The Dreamkeepers Volume 5 campaign has gone very well, and it actually went so good that Indiegogo has allowed it to go what they call in demand. So if you still
so we got that confirmed?
Yep, it's in demand. So if people still want to, they can pre-order it until the in demand period ends. I'm pretty sure it stays up as long as there's like decent activity. I don't know exactly how it works, but if you didn't get it and you want to, just search Dreamkeepers on Indiegogo. You'll find it right away.
All right. Hazen, you got anything? You going to be streaming after this, Breath of the Wild or anything?
Oh, no. I'm wore out. And
okay,
I think after 3 hours of streaming, the last thing anybody wants to do is watch more fucking stream.
Some people do. They're crazy. No, this was good. 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Yeah, we'll be back next week. If you do need any more streaming, we'll be doing the reviews tomorrow on the Shots with Comics channel. All right, guys. There you go. A yawn for the end for you. Even I'm tired.
Yawn.
Oh.
All right. See you guys later.
Good night.
Goodbye.